folks, it's me, Donald Trump. We won, and it has a lot to do with the following guys. Let me tell you about something so huge, something they're all talking about. It's called The DUM Show with Matt Spear, and it's live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the show that's redefining what it means to speak the truth in podcasting. No nonsense, no filters, just bold, fantastic commentary. Some say the best commentary ever. It's not funded by Russia. It's not funded by China. Oh no, this is 100% American energy right here. So tune in, watch The DUM Show on social media at The DUM Show or thedumshow.com, and let's make podcasting great again.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
What is going on, Donut Friendly Nation? Welcome to the show. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. We got the new video camera connector, and Olivia and I can wave now, and there's no lag. Wave, Liv. Hi.
Look at that.
And our videos should sound and look much, much better. I mean, it is now 100% in 4K with no lag whatsoever. Hey, see? Looks really good. It's 4K. No breakup, and it's no lag. Pretty cool. We're excited. Welcome to the Donut Friendly Show. Got a lot going on. Leeroy, what are we talking about? What are you bringing to us tonight?
Well, for the 7th year in a row, the Pentagon has failed their annual audit.
Interesting. Talk about that this evening. Olivia, what are you bringing us?
I'm talking about honor killings and what that means, and the most recent one that happened in the United States.
Kinky.
Not what you think.
Oh, Amy? Amy's not talking about anything.
Yeah,
Amy's
I'm just here to comment because I'm a
Look
loser.
pretty.
I worked so much last 2 days, so don't even know what's happening in the world.
She's a comment creator, folks.
Yes.
So excited to get going tonight. By the way, folks, if you did not know, we've got 36 seconds. I gotta hit this fast. If you have not had a chance to donate to the Donut Friendly Show, folks, we need it. The month is not going exactly as planned. We need some help, especially tonight. Our AM show is doing okay, but it's not doing as well as we need it to. So we're hoping we can get some donations in tonight. It would mean a great deal. Go over to the DUM Show. Go on your phone just like this. Go to thedumshow.com/donate and go to PayPal. You can click PayPal and make a donation. You can actually mail it in. You can go to Venmo. We'll see you in 3 minutes, and we'll show you some more. Be right back. Step into a Wimkin.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The DUM Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The DUM Show on social media or thedumshow.com.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am adding a little spice to Amy's picture and Leeroy's picture with a cool new feature in the computer. Bear with me. You should see Amy's picture change right there. It becomes a little darker, and then we add a little contrast, and there it is. Just a little touch up makes all of our cameras look similar. We got a lot to cover tonight, a lot going on. Sean Duffy was just appointed Department of Transportation, so he'll be taking Pete Buttigieg's job. Does everyone know Sean Duffy? Yeah,
No.
I don't.
Maybe I'd have to see a picture of him.
He's P Diddy's son, and
Got it.
let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll pull up a picture. He is. She's Fox host on weekends with Morning with Friends, Fox and Friends, something Duffy, whatever her face is.
Okay.
We were talking about her lover, Olivia, how pretty she was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is she like maybe Hispanic or like Indian or something?
Yeah. She's a Mexican, even if she's not.
Okay.
She's Mexican. So yeah,
Okay, I know who she is.
all
She is really
Mexican.
pretty. And
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and Duffy's a good dude, and he's pretty sharp, and I think he'll do well. Fox and Friends and Fox News is, it's either you're pulling from Fox, or you're not pulling from anywhere. It seems like a lot of Fox people are getting pulled. So all good news, and I think so far his cabinet is rounding itself out effectively. I don't have too many problems. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to talk to either of you. So what are your thoughts on the cabinet's positions thus far, Ames and Leeroy? What do you think?
I think overall, from what I've seen, it's going to be extremely robust. I feel like we have a lot of strong people in the right places. There are some people I think there's some questions on that we just don't know enough about. So I think it's like a wait and see with those people. So you just have to kind of trust the president with his choices with some of them, because I don't know some of them at all. But
is there any that you've seen? I have to report this. I grew up here. Hi, guys. I was just watching ABC 7. There's people stuck sideways on a ride in Buena Park, Knott's Berry Farm. I have been to Buena Park, Knott's Berry Farm about 1,000 times. We used to eat at the chicken dinner place at least once a week. We would wait in line over 2 hours every single time, and they had the best chicken and rhubarb pie. And we would go for this country dinner, and we would go to Knott's Berry Farm all the time. And I grew up there. Loved it. Holy crap. They declined help from the local fire department and are hooking up a tether to the ground. Crazy. This has happened 3 times on this ride since August.
wow.
Yeah. Kev, thank you for the donation. We appreciate it, buddy.
That was actually sent in yesterday. I think you may have missed it.
That's okay. If I missed something, hit it
Yeah, I
up.
got it.
So Amy, any of those picks that you're like, you do know and you're like,
No, there's no one that I am fully aware of that I'm like, that's a bad choice. I think most of them are going to do a good job. Like I said, I think everyone is like a strong personality. I think everyone's like a no BS kind of person. They're going to do what they were hired to do. At least I hope so. I hope that they prove him right. I think it's going to be good. I do. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie. That is an amazing donation. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the assistance. Knott's Berry Farm, that chicken restaurant. Now, Disneyland redid the Louisiana Colonial House menu to this chicken, mashed potatoes, and collard greens, and because Knott's Berry Farm was cleaning their clock. And the Colonial House used to do pot roast, and then it would do chicken and dumplings. And Knott's Berry Farm every weekend was just destroying Disneyland. The park would empty out, and everyone would go over to Knott's Berry Farm and try to get into that restaurant. So they switched, and Disneyland has a killer 3-piece chicken breast, and that's what it was. You go to Knott's Berry Farm, and you get 3 chicken breasts, like giant chicken breast with mashed potatoes, and oh my god, it's delicious. And it's ridiculous. But anyway, screw Disney, we don't go there anymore. But Leeroy, your thoughts on the picks? Holy moly! Thank you so much, Bobby Richardson.
Thank you, Bobby.
What are your thoughts on the picks, Leeroy?
And so far, the one that I'm most enthusiastic about is Pete Hegseth as Secretary for DOD.
Isn't that amazing that we're like right in step with that dude? That all the military people are like, fuck yes.
He is amazing. I got to watch a part of his interview on the Sean Ryan show. Just seems like just such a great dude. The one that I'm kind of most dubious about, the one that I'm Thank you, Christine. Christine or Kristen?
Christine. You do the same thing I do. Are you shitting me, dude? I do the same exact thing. I always struggle with the E and the dude, it's like brother from another mother. Anyway, go ahead.
You just never know how some people pronounce their names. The one that I'm kind of most dubious about is Matt Gaetz. I really wonder how much pushback will occur with that one, just because he's been so vocal, so upfront for a very, very long time, as probably one of the harshest critics of the left. So I'm really curious as far as how much resistance he gets and getting into that particular cabinet pick.
Yeah. I'm right with you. A couple things. Knott's Berry Farm does sell jam. They sell syrup as well for waffles and pancakes and stuff. And no, it's not elderberry. And then I put it on my pancakes thinking that it's syrup. And nobody said I was bright.
Cough syrup.
I caught Sean doing that. Did I tell you guys about that?
No, but she bought it for me when I was sick, and she's like, "It's elderberry syrup. You got to put it on there." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, we put it on our pancakes. And I was like, "This is kind of funky."
I'm like, "This doesn't taste really. It's kind of soupy."
We both had COVID, and we were completely out of it. So.
Now we know. Go ahead.
Now we know.
No, tell us. We are on a tight schedule, but tell us the Sean story. We want to hear it.
My youngest son, he was making waffles, I think it was, and I just so happened to have been watching him, and he pops the waffles out of the toaster, slaps them on a plate, goes to grab the brown liquid in the refrigerator door, almost starts to go pouring it, and I go, whoa, dude, that's soy sauce. What are you doing? And he just looked at like, oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. It's like the time we put Worcestershire sauce in spaghetti.
Yeah. I accidentally put chili powder in French toast one time. Totally just because they look the same, right? My mom caught it, but I'd already made like 4 of them. And she goes, let's see if your brother eats them.
Yeah.
He ate them all and didn't say anything. I was like, okay.
Once you cook chili powder, it's amazing. It kind of loses its zip.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a liquid, like chili or something. But if you put it on a turkey or something, it doesn't last through the oven process. But whatever, we're not a cooking channel. Ukraine and Biden giving the green light. I talked about it today. We'll talk about it tonight. We'll at least touch on it real quick, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Okay, picks. Liv, did you have any comments on the picks, or are you?
No, we talked about it. Yeah. I was on the show the other night.
Yeah.
So
I honestly, I was. Listen, we got RFK in. The guy is a pro-abortion, complete radical leftist activist, and we're all embracing him. Tulsi Gabbard was a fucking communist progressive, and we're embracing her. I'm going along with the flow. At this point, I'll piss up a rope just to see if it'll do any good. Roland, I already got you banned, douchebag, because I have a trick that you guys can't spam my page anymore, motherfucker. So suck my.
We're getting them on Rumble too.
They're trying. Now. Yeah. Well, I can't fix Rumble, but these guys
we're on
they have posted 30,000 spam posts in the last 4 days on Don't Unfriend Me. And they are 30,000. Well, it's a bot. So what they're doing is they're linking it, and it's called the Don't Unfriend Me show, but it's on Telegram. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to get you to join, and then they're going to ask you for money. And they're getting good. They're like, I know this is Olivia. Matthew's in the hospital. He got in a car accident. We don't have any money. We don't have insurance. Can you help us? They asked one of our viewers for $10,000. He sent me a text and he's like, I'm about to send it, but I just want to make sure this is legit. I'm like, oh my God, don't send the money, you know, but this is what our viewers are like.
So please, if you get one of those, please contact us first.
We will never ask you
We will never ask for donations outside of the show.
Not even donations. We'll never ask you for money. That's not the way we do it. We talk about donations at the beginning of the show. We talk it at the top of the hour, and then that's it. We will never call you and individually say, can I borrow money? No, never. It just will never happen. But anyway, 30,000. If you go and you look at my comments and your moderators, you can see just show hidden. You'll see thousands of these things on the thread.
Yeah, I think the mods can see it because I can see the comment right now, but it's hidden.
Yeah, it's hidden. Well, I have a trick. I know how to ban them now. So I get the credit and the money from Facebook, but nobody can see it. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if all of those bots and all of those comments actually help your algorithm.
It does. It helps the algorithm and keeps it busy. We've had 3.2 million interactions in the last 7 days. A lot of that is because we have a couple posts going viral because Facebook isn't throttling us when it comes to our posts anymore. They're still throttling the show. Anyway, long story longer. Amy, are you tired? Are you okay? Have you had a busy day?
But I'm okay. I meant to call you guys. I do need to chat with you guys about what's happening, but I think we're on a better path. But yeah, you guys get it. I'm not doing, and there's nothing happening in my house that that no other parent hasn't dealt with. It's just
yes, okay, good, yes, we'll talk. We need to let's get together and have a conversation.
I've just been working all weekend. I worked like 48 hours, pretty much straight. I'm exhausted. So
if you need to go,
no, I'm good.
Let us know. Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Maureen wants to know if she bans the hidden comments because we can see them as mods.
No. Here's the thing: is I'm hiding their comments. What you need to do is go into it, tap the comment, and hit block user, and then it'll just kill their account. You're not going to be able to keep up with it. And honestly, I'm fine with them spamming. If I'm hiding, I'm getting the traction. So they're automatically hiding now. We'll see them in our chat because this doesn't have that filter, but it automatically blocks.
Okay,
so
good.
If anyone sees any that are live and not grayed out, let me know. But they all should be hidden, and they're too stupid to understand because they're Korean and they don't fucking speak English. So dicky dow, you fucking twat waffles. Thank you, Kev Mon. Let's get started. Leeroy, you wanted to talk. I'll kind of set us up here. You sent me an article about this in regards to the Pentagon missing audit for seventh audit in a row. Interesting. Now, the last time we did this, is this similar with the Navy that they didn't pass their overall audit? Is this similar, or is it actually the Pentagon with their budget? I'm interested to find out. I think I already know the answer, but you go ahead and tell us.
This is the actual Pentagon's budget, and certainly the Navy's budget ties into that. But overall, this is just for DOD, for the U.S., just in general. And so what we start looking at is the seventh audit in a row. This started back in 2018, I believe. This year's budget was $830 billion. Now the Pentagon is supposed to have something like $4.1 trillion worth of liquid assets, that they hold, right? And that comes in the form of tanks and aircraft carriers and everything else. When you start talking about trillions of dollars, that's 12 zeros, folks. A billion has 9 zeros. A trillion has 12. And so I dug back a little bit, and there's a couple of different reports out there. The actual DoD PDF is downloadable, so it is something that if you're watching this show and you wanted to kind of follow along, you absolutely can. But back in 2015, they missed their accounting number by almost 63%, which means they couldn't account for more than half of the DoD budget at the time. Now, back then it was 495.6 billion, and again now it's 824 billion. When you subtract out everything that they're missing, I did the math on this. It's kind of staggering. If you take the total amount of missing dollars or unaccounted for dollars and divide that amongst the population of the United States that pays federal taxes, what you end up with is for every man, woman, and child who's watching this show, the amount that you've paid of $1,725, Uncle Sam just lost that check. They don't know where it's at.
The fuck?
And so, yeah. And so that was my topic for the night. And I was going to get everyone's reactions. Do you trust the government? Do you not trust the government? Do you think that we should, are you looking forward to Pete Hegseth coming in and saying, hey, look, this isn't right? For anybody who caught his show on Sean Ryan the other day, he was the one who noted that only second to the DOD, the VA has the second largest budget, which is still twice the budget of the Marine Corps, right? And a lot of that money goes missing. So when you're talking about this many billions of dollars that has gone missing, I just wanted to get everyone's reaction. Tell me what you thought.
I did the VA story a year ago. Fuck them. Just saying. Come on, Hegseth. Get on the program. Who wants to go? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, we're talking an amount of money that's incredible here, but
where is it going? Is this lining the politicians' pockets and it's just missing? I mean,
It's
this
unaccounted
is
for.
frustrating that we have to pay taxes for our money to disappear. Honestly, we should all get a refund for that amount. Since they can't keep track of their money, why am I having to pay for your shit if you can't keep track of your money?
It's not
Pisses
going
me
to
off.
gift cards to the migrants. I mean, aren't they getting? I mean, was that in there? I don't even know, because they're getting thousands of dollars every month. They get more money a month than people, I think, on welfare or anything, or the veterans, anybody. They're making tons of freaking money. I do think a lot of it is probably laundered and given to other groups and maybe personal. I mean, it's speculation, but I know a little bit about the government and how they operate, so I would not be shocked if. Thank you, Judy. If we found out there was a laundering scheme happening and the money was going somewhere else. I mean, that's pretty much what the Treasury is anyway, right? It's just in my opinion, don't come for me, IRS. Pay my taxes. Yeah, I think it's a big laundering scheme. Like, where is our money going? And it's like a big magician that we have running our government. We're missing money. What else? Like, what's next?
Right. And that's kind of the point, right? It's funny when I pulled the 2015 numbers where it talked about the $495.6 billion bottom line budget. They couldn't, at that time, account for roughly 125 billion of that. So you guys know what a ratio is in math, just in terms of like back of the cocktail napkin, just a quick guess on math. I did that for that budget and then compared it to the 2024 budget. And when I multiplied the 824 billion, divided it by the 125 billion that was lost way back when, and then multiplied that times the 496 billion, I got $207.8 billion that should have been roughly unaccounted for. Here's where it gets interesting. In the PDF that you can download from the DOD on page 39, this gets good. The total liabilities on the net positions, assets minus liabilities, the part that they couldn't account for was $208.4 billion. How close is that?
That's really close. Good math there, Leeroy.
Yeah. Just interesting.
I'm just becoming a conspiracy theorist, so I'm just.
It's not a conspiracy theory. There's a conspiracy theory that goes around. There's a meme that says the night before 9/11 happened, $6.1 trillion wound up going missing from. It's bullshit. It wasn't the night before 9/11. It was actually after 9/11, and it was a period of over 12 years. And the Defense Department has lost $6.1 trillion. Let me say it again.
How do you lose that much money?
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to explain it. But to lose $6.1 trillion, I want you to first understand, and I've done this show, and you guys remember, some of you remember I did the show and showed you graphically what $1 trillion actually looks like and how many trips you can take to the moon with $1 trillion stacked. It's ridiculous. So the best way to describe it is $1 trillion is, I want you to imagine the largest cargo ship. You know, some of the giant cargo ships you go through the Suez Canal, stack it 3 high in rail cars, and that represents $1 trillion in physical form. So how do you lose that much? Well, you don't use it, you spend it. And how you spend it is you give the CIA discretionary budgets. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is that the CIA and Annex, they repurchase a lot of weaponry from the black market. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. And we're talking everything from Stingers to old Kalashnikovs to, Semtex and C4, anti-personnel mines, vehicles, even aircraft that would be in the open market. And this is a lot. And it's all cash. And it's all not reported to Congress. And it's discretionary funds that you will never see on the book because the actual process is 100% confidential. But there are times, and I will tell you openly, and the thing is, if you watch and talk to Sean Ryan, who was a SEAL, but also CIA trained, so not only can he kill you with his hands, he can kill you with his mind, will tell you that they will walk into certain black market situations with $30 million in cash.
Oh, yeah.
And make a transaction. And it's not with credit cards. It's not with checks. It's not with money orders. It's cash. And I can tell you from some experience that I've seen large purchases of that caliber from afar, from a physical intelligence standpoint and a anecdotal perspective. And this is going on all over the world, 24 hours, 7 days a week, to keep weaponry out of certain people's hands and to ensure that it's off the market. That is a lot of it. A lot of it. Go ahead, Leeroy. And I'll finish my thoughts when he's done.
Just for a frame of reference so that everyone has an idea of just how much money we're talking about. When Matt is talking about $6.5 trillion that has gone missing since, I think that might be since 2018. I'll let him pencil that in.
It's
but
long before that.
Okay.
It happened predominantly between 2008 and 2012 under Obama. Most of that went missing, but we've been missing some ever since.
When you're talking about that much money, just for frame of reference, the total GDP of Russia in 2023 was $2.021 trillion. The total amount that gets circulated in the country of Russia was just over $2 trillion. And our DOD lost 3 times that.
And when we say lost, it's undisclosed, right? It's not lost. Now there's theft, there's definite misappropriation and waste, but when they say lost, it basically means it goes to black operations. Now, the CIA, a lot of people don't know these. There's things that people don't know. Is like if I asked you for the top 5 special forces groups in the United States, Leeroy, give me the first. Mm-hmm. Who's number 1? Special SOF.
I would think DevGru would be at the top of that list.
It's not. It's Delta. I mean, Delta hands down it's Delta. Who's number 2? Well, give me who's number 3, and then here's your answer. Go ahead. You got it.
I was going to think with Marines. What is it?
It's DevGru. It's DevGru and SEAL
Is it?
teams. Yeah, number 3. Number 4, and a lot of people are like Force Recon. It depends on the mission. And Force Recon guys are incredible. And I honestly, if you ask team guys, they think Force Recon guys are incredible. But really, the amount of amphibious interaction that the SEALs have with UDT and insertion is much different. Recon guys do it too. I'm not saying they don't. But I think if you look at DevGru, but overall, if you were to take SEALs and Force Recon, they're very, very close. They're
Who's
training
number 2?
I'll tell you in a second. And then number 5 is probably going to be airborne and Rangers. You know, Rangers are probably number 5 in this. And there's some different groups where people might say, "Oh, come on, this unit's better than that." And, whatever. SAR isn't special forces, but SAR guys are fucking incredible too. But anyway, number 2 is actually CIA. And CIA takes the tip of the spear of the tip of the spear of the tip of the spear. That they don't only just not take the top 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And CIA Black Ops, their special forces teams are fucking incredible. And like I said, not only are they trained from a physical standpoint to kill you, they can do it mentally too. Because CIA, they have to go through CIA. They go through the farm, they go through everything, and they go through that training. So they understand interrogation, they understand counterintelligence, they understand psychological warfare. And Sean Ryan is one of those people, and he worked for the CIA, and he will tell you that CIA Special Forces is second to none. Delta is the best. And Delta is the best because Delta as a singularity are the best. They send guys to go out, one guy, without a backup, without a team, and just go, blend in and do your job. That shit's incredible. So from a singularity, they are the baddest motherfuckers in the Valley. The reason I say this is all of that CIA specific work is all off the books. It's all TS. It's all compartmentalized. It's all need to know basis. It's all in a room with armed guards behind closed doors with no electronics and wire mesh everywhere. Read a pamphlet and basically sign your life away to get read into that shit. That's a lot of money that changes hands. And the reason why a lot of this is undocumented is because there were some rules changed by Barack Obama in Senate oversight, and their ability expired to oversee the CIA and paramilitary funding that they would spend money. It was something domestically after the Iran-Contra hearings that they still had oversight on, and went through the Greeks and the Lemnos Islands, the Afghanistan deal, the CIA, Libya, Iran. All of this was oversight because of these things happening. But the oversight for that CIA spending is no longer necessarily through the Senate oversight in the Intel Committee. So you've got a lot of money that's being filtered through Black Ops that you're not seeing the receipts for, and you won't. You don't lose $6.1 trillion. You just don't. You don't. That's a big paper trail. So
That's a lot of money.
So this is why they're failing their audits, but also they're ill-effective. They're paying against contracts that they're not seeing the weaponry for. We have long outstanding contracts for tanks, for airplanes, for new technology that we will never see. Elon Musk is in for a huge ride, is what I'm trying to say. There is so much waste in our government. Long answer to a fairly short answer. Short question. Whatever. Leeroy, what else are we missing? Out of all of this and this money, what else are we missing?
Well, I was still actually going through it, and basically I was at work, and so by the time I actually started diving into some of this PDF, it's literally 300 pages, 330 pages of just word salad of what money gets allocated for where. So I haven't gotten through the entire thing yet, but I did get to that one line, not missing, but like unaccounted for $208.4 billion. And then the rest of it started kicking in. Like how many billions have we sent to Israel? Like 18 billion, another like 65 billion to Ukraine. And then the dollars just keep ringing in my head. And I'm like, man, my taxes are just, what am I doing?
Well, Yeah, I mean, Israel, the funny thing is if you want to look over the entire time since like 1950, Israel has received $363 billion. What's hilarious is Ukraine has received half of that in 1/48 of the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Somebody asked, hey, Matt, what's happened to the weapons bought on the black market? I can't say anything.
Question.
I can't answer that question for you. It's not that I can't answer that question. I will not answer that question for you. The process of it happening isn't the secret. The overall where the weaponry goes is. I won't encroach upon that.
Wise.
I think we can all probably make some educated guesses.
You can, and you're more than welcome to do that right now. Sure, you can go.
I would say probably to other like terrorist groups and maybe foreign militaries, things like that. I'm assuming.
Sure. Sounds whatever.
That would be my guess.
Sure. It's an educated guess. Whether that's correct or not, I can neither confirm or deny at this time.
Which governments are we trying to influence, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and we obviously understand weaponry is capital. And honestly, a lot of these people don't care about cash. The Middle East in particular, Sauds don't give a fuck about money. They've got all they want and more. Weaponry, machinery, explosives, missile defense systems. These are the things that they want. But once again, I can either confirm or deny whether those go into anyone's hands other than essentially a self-destruct pit of debt cord and slash and burn agriculture, but with weapons. I mean, that's the official story, is that it's Amy, I'll give you the official story. All weaponry that is purchased on the black market by the United States government is destroyed and inoperable, ever to be used again by anyone on the planet.
Correct.
Full stop. That's okay. Now that we've established that, but once again, it's necessary, right? Because you don't want some fucking, Kurd getting a stinger. You don't. And you want this shit off the market. But the problem is that when you decide who gets to play God, hypothetically, you create demons. And this has been the U.S.'s crux, is they think that they can go in and resupply freedom fighters to fight their proxies, and then these freedom fighters get a taste and they become the Taliban, or they become ISIS, or they become Al-Qaeda, and we create our own worst nightmare. Like I said, by treating them like gods, we create demons.
Well, the moment you fund and arm a group like that because you think that they're going to fight against a cause that you happen to be, the enemy of your enemy is not always your friend. And so a lot of times what happens is once all of this stuff comes full circle, right? Once X tribe has been ousted or this government has been toppled, then that group, which now has all of the money and all of the weapons in the world, right? Who's the biggest guy in the block? Who will always be the biggest guy in the block, and who will always be the focal point of so many countries' hate and discontent in the world, because they think that everything is a zero-sum game and the United States is the reason for it all. Yeah. So as much as we arm these guys because we think that they're helping, eventually that will come back on us.
Right. There's never, we've installed plenty of governments and all of them have failed. 26 times in U.S. history have we tried to install democracy, and it's failed every single time. And there's a reason. Because you can go ahead and you can give people all the training in the world. You can give them the most luxury, the nicest house, the nicest car, the greatest education, and they start off as an idiot, and you give them a great suit, and you give them a loving wife, and in the end, all they have is a motivated and educated idiot. in the scheme of things here is the same story. You can give these people the greatest government known to man, a wonderful economy, and all the luxury that we can possibly possess. And in the end, all you have is a bunch of fucking dictators who have no desire to give the power to the people. And that's the way this works. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to move because I don't want. I think probably we're encroaching upon conversation that is going to get people interested who don't need to be interested. Yeah, I think I got that a few minutes ago, and I just decided to go ahead and keep it going. But at this point, any other conversation is really just diving into it too much. So I would like to go ahead and shift gears, if that's okay. Thanks, Leeroy, for throwing me the hand signal. I didn't get one. Interesting. Let's go to a funny video. And listen, it's not like anyone who has watched a recent modern day war film doesn't know this shit isn't happening. Anybody who hasn't read Tom Clancy, it's not about that. It's just, you don't want to make enemies in Washington. Can I say that? Is that the thing? And you don't, that's my point. You don't want to piss off people in Washington who you used to work with, because then they don't trust you anymore. Go ahead.
One last thing, and then I'll leave it here. Folks, if you're watching this show and any of this angers you, and you're just going through the math in your head like, hey, man, I'm on the hook for like $2,000 that you guys lost, make sure you're emailing or calling your congressman or senator. Do that. Don't call into the show. Don't send us a bunch of hate mail. Yeah. Call your representatives and say, hey, you guys lost my money. Take it from there.
And don't tell them the Don't Unfriend Me show. Where'd you hear this?
Yeah, don't do that.
Tell them you heard it from the Young Turks.
Yes.
Yes. Tank Uyghur. Yeah.
Folks, I want to share something with you. It is excellent. And you may have been noticing a few of these videos that have been going around of people just absolutely melting the fark down. I would feel remiss if I didn't share it with you. This is by far one of the funniest. We usually save these for the end, but we're going to start off with this because I think it's just awesome. Merry Christmas.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this. I'm sorry. Do you really hate me that bad? Do you really hate me that bad? Do you really hate me that
I've never seen an angry elf like that before.
Angry elf.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
He's that man.
Oh, that was
Music
freaking
award.
awesome.
Talented.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome.
Talented, beyond talented. Meme Addict TX was responsible for finding that. I don't know who made it, but God, it is so amazingly good. Democrats, I told you, the closer they get to J6, folks, the crazier and more batshit they will get. I told you, people are like, oh, well, you don't see them rioting and burning shit down. I said, let's give it a few weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
When they get to the point where they find out that the recount is never going to happen and Democrats are still raising money on it, they are sending out emails that say, fund the recount. Let's get Kamala in with a recount. They're not going to, you can't pay for a recount. There is a certain reason why states recount, and that's because those states are within a certain margin. None of them were there. There will be no recount. And the popular vote, go ahead.
Wouldn't it be great? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Wouldn't it be
You're
great
good.
if you found out that the groups that were sending those types of emails and messages out were in fact from the Republican Party, and it was actually money? Because it's not going to go anywhere. That money will end up in a black hole, right? So
Well, that's
why
right.
not?
Well, we proved today in the morning show. I broke down her money, and out of all the money that she raised, and let's face it, it's ridiculous. There's like $88 million missing, but she's negative 20 in the hole. Why? I broke down her entire finances. Yeah, exactly. So how are you missing? And the money that she spent, I didn't even really get into the whole thing. They had over $43,000 for the Harris campaign in Uber Eats and ice cream.
My God.
Jeez.
$43,000 in Uber Eats and ice cream. I mean,
hope they tipped that driver well. Probably didn't.
that's what I'm saying. Trump isn't going to tax those. Trump isn't going to tax those tips, by the way, folks. So you should be really happy, Uber people. Go ahead, Leeroy.
I don't know who this is on the screen. It looks like Susan Sarandon got bit by a bee. Maybe she's allergic.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She got puffy. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's listen because it's just starting, and they're showing pictures right now of fires, and they're like, oh, this is how they're showing J6, and they're saying this is what we don't do. It's like, okay, but you guys are starting to fucking lose the plot, right? It's starting to eat at you. The closer we get to having him get sworn in, and he puts his hand on the Bible, and literally when like 1.5 million people show up to his inauguration, because they will. They are every fucking MAGA person out there is going to go to Washington, D.C. So you guys can, what?
You guys going to go?
Yeah, I'm going. We're going.
I'm going too. So I didn't know if you could. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's going. And the reason why is because we want to shove it to the press and show them that this is a new Million Man March and everyone's going to go show support.
We got an invitation to his last one. Fortunately, we got it 6 months late, but we still got it.
Right. And we would like to.
Tickets are crazy though.
Yeah,
Tickets are crazy. Tickets to the inauguration, like that's crazy expensive. Even the parade, I think, is like close to $1,000 a person for the parade. It's like crazy expensive.
Oh, we were just going to go down and go into, and go into lower DC. That doesn't cost us anything.
No, I'm volunteering, so I'll be there, not paying $1,000 to go.
Why didn't you include me in this? What?
I did. You guys are included. I think you guys can come. It's that whole thing I sent it to you about feeding the police officers. We're trying to do 3,000 to 5,000. So my girlfriend's still getting the final touches done. She just sent me like the preliminary stuff today. Once it goes like live and they have a link to donate, she wants to come on the show and like promote it and talk about it. But yeah, so.
Oh, hell's to the yeah.
Totally come and help hand out food to the cops.
I will come. Definitely.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Well,
It'd be awesome.
Now that Roseanne Barr called me out by name today, I'm feeling like it's just a matter of time before we get introduced to someone in the Trump campaign or something like Laura Logan today said hi. It was nice. I came on the show and we exchanged. I think that relationship's going to get stronger. But Roseanne came on today and there was like 10 of us in there, and she's like, "Hi, Veronica," I think, and then she's like, "Hi, Matt." And I'm like, "Hi, Roseanne!" Like, fucking, Aww. This is awesome. It's very nice. It's very nice. She watches the show, and gosh darn it, girl, call in. She really is kick ass. I'm sorry.
I want her to call in so bad. I want to talk to her.
Well, I talked to Jason and I said, I want her on the show, and we're trying to get her booked. And Jason said he'll talk to her. And she says she watches the show, so I'm sure there's no reason why she wouldn't. And I would just love to talk to her. Calvin Floyd, haha, dick, it's not showing up. Spammer. Yeah, I know.
There's
go back.
One.
Yep. No, it's not going to go. All right. So let's see how they're feeling, because Merry Christmas. This is
just tried to tag me in it. That's funny.
I know. Here we go.
I want to send a message. To the Biden-Harris administration. If they see this, they see this. If other bigger creators make similar messages, that would be great. You asked us to
Come on.
mobilize. We mobilized. You asked us to volunteer. We volunteered in droves.
No, Jared, I could not get a word in on that call. I just gave up. And then Jason's like, "Hey, we need your spot," and I'm like, "I'm good." You know what? I got a lot of words at the beginning of the call, but I don't care. I mean, I'm a nobody, so I'm just going in to chime in where I can. I got my chime in on the Opium War and the Chinese or the English Opium War in the 18th century, and I got that in, and that was good. I got my hits in, but overall, I'm okay, man. I don't need to say everything all the time. I was listening. I love hearing Lara Logan talk. She's amazing. All right.
You asked us to donate. We donated. Over $1 billion we donated. You asked us to fight. We fought. Now stop asking us to send more money, and the fight begins now, when you know damn well the fight is now in your hands, not ours. Stop showing us that you're going to play by the rules when you know very well that they're not playing by the rules. The rules have changed. What? You need to take action now. If you voluntarily turn this country over to the autocratic dictator and his clown show of an administration that he's been assembling, if you let democracy fall in this country, if you let millions of people die, and you know millions of people will die under that administration, then your legacy and the one thing you will be remembered for in history is allowing democracy to fall in the United States. The Biden-Harris administration will be known throughout history as the administration that let this country turn into an autocratic dictatorship, and we'll never get it back. If the options are dictatorship or civil war, we choose civil war. I choose civil war. Stop playing by the rules and do something.
First bitch that
choose civil war.
First bitch that goes down. First.
Okay.
You're going first, chick. I'm aiming right for you. Go ahead, Amy.
First of all, I love that they changed the spelling of dictatorship to be DICK.
I saw that.
That was awesome. I thought that was like a real nice touch.
So clever. So clever.
Very clever. I like that she's supporting Donald Trump with her hairstyle, and I thought that was where it was going.
Yes.
And I was
very nice.
She's got Donald Trump's hair.
Yeah.
This lady, why are we not arresting her for inciting violence? I mean, she's claiming that she wants a civil war. Like, it sounds like she's calling people to the mat right now. Like, where are the people in the black coats? Where are they at her door?
Right.
Like, I want to see them going through her
Should
files.
she not have been black bagged? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they
Where's the FBI at her door?
Where are they for the day of infamy of N17? Right, the 17th of November. And where were you on N17 when our government almost fell to insurrectionists? The worst attack on American democracy ever. Please.
People are just so dumb.
Here's the thing.
Well,
never mind.
Go ahead.
Fuck, you need to go on the Roseanne panel. You'll do great. Go ahead.
Thanks. There are so many people. I mean, it's a high percentage of the people on the left that actually feel that in their bones that Donald Trump is, in fact, a Nazi, fascist, dictator, autocratic, authoritarian prick. And they're not going to let it go.
No.
It's because they only listen to the left-wing media.
Yep. This is going to be the messaging that you're going to hear every day on mainstream media for the next 4 years.
Here's the point. Just a little truth serum. It's not possibly that they can't do what you want them to do because what they said wasn't true. It could only mean that they're sitting on their asses and allowing Hitler to take over, right? You think a normal person who would be like, wait a second, I think I've been duped, right? You know what? I hired this prostitute. She said she was a female. I reached between her legs and she has a cock. She can't be a man. She told me she was a woman. She's got to be a woman. Let's have sex and find out. And you're like, ouch, that was uncomfortable. But she has to be a woman. She can't be a man. Are you fucking kidding me? When are you people going to wake up? They lied to you. They've been lying to you for years. Why do you think Trump won? Because more people woke up than remained asleep. That's all it is. They're just like, you lied to us in 2020. You fucked it up worse than Trump ever could. We're bringing him back. We're going back to common sense. And even the dumbest of America who voted for Joe Biden realized they made a mistake. But you people you're not dumb. You're just so fucking gullible. And you keep getting, you just keep going back to the well, no matter how dry it is. And you're just like, well, I'm sure I'll get a drink this time. I'm sure they're going to take care of me. And honestly, I hate to say it, a lot of black people, once again, this election fell for it. Jews fell for it. And it's sad. Now, more than ever came across. But for these people who are still espousing that, how could they let Hitler in office? But you were duped. Russian collusion was fake. The Nazi bullshit is fake. He's the worst Nazi ever. He's got a Jew son-in-law.
His daughter converted him to
Judaism. He recognized the capital of Jerusalem as a single state. 6 other presidents promised they were going to do it. He's the only one who did it. He had the Abraham Peace Accords, and he was working on a 4th with Saudi Arabia to bring peace in the Middle East. He went ahead and expanded the hate crime laws in Florida due to what was happening to Jews. He's the worst Jew hater ever. So, please.
Just really quick too, this made me think of, I saw this I got an invitation. I'm sure you guys may have seen them floating around, that there's a meeting this Sunday on how to approach your family members this holiday season that didn't vote with your political beliefs. And I can't make this Sunday's meeting, unfortunately, because I was like, oh man, I really want to go to this.
Oh, I so want to be there.
It's not. It's at the New Hope United Methodist Church. If you guys, I could send you the details.
I can't step on holy ground anyway, so I'm not going to go. I don't need to mess with God right now. We're in a good spot. But if you would have told me it was like Democrats for Freedom and Democracy or some shit, I would be so there. I would come in there, I'd wear fucking glasses, I'd wear a Waldo sweater and, like have a cat tail coming out of my ass and walk in there and be like, hello, it's Matthias. How are you, everybody? Oh my God.
Have you heard of there's a group like that. It's called Indivisible. Have you guys heard of this?
No. How did
Worth
they spell
fighting
it?
for. The strategy for fighting Trump 2.0. They have groups all over too. You can even start your own.
Oh my God.
Indivisible.org. I highly recommend checking them out. They're crazy.
Something that you guys had said earlier it always gets my gears starts to go, right? Back in 2020, we knew that there was roughly 158 million votes that were cast for the presidential election. This year is 153 million, right? Give or take. I wonder if on the next go around, 2028 rolls around, right? Instead of someone as cantankerous as Trump and as maybe trendy as Kamala Harris, if they end up with 2 old white guys again, do we think that those numbers will go down? I'm wondering if the presidential election and the vice presidential portion of that has some level of this bright, shiny, flashy thing, right? And if it's trendy, it's going to get more people in, like a Taylor Swift song. But if it's just 2 regular old white dudes, will that bring in the votes? I'm just curious.
I'll tell you what won't bring in the votes: a woman, because they're 0 for 2. And I think America is ready for a black person. I think they're ready for a Muslim. I even think they are ready for more white guys. What they're not ready for is a woman president.
They just need a better candidate, because both of them sucked.
I don't think so. I don't think
Now,
so.
Now, do you think then, Matt, that the first female president will in fact be a Republican? That'll be the question.
Well, it depends what type of Republican, right? So you got to find a strong woman who isn't crazy in the Republican Party.
Fair.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and who isn't considered a rhino by everybody, right? So you can't go Nikki Haley. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, people think what they think about her. Marjorie Taylor Greene as president, give me a fucking break.
No.
So you gotta find a conservative woman who floats the bill, and I don't know. No, because I hate to say, Nobody has their money on Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake still has to rescind her governorship and now senator. Like, where's her speech? I love women. I love women. I think they're amazing. Condoleezza Rice would have been good. No. Neocon, Warhawk. No. I like Kondo, but not as president. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm sexist. Maybe that's what it is. But I've had women bosses, and they're incredible. I've had some amazing women bosses. One of my best VPs was Sherry Peters. Was somebody I love, and I would do anything for her.
Loved her.
Yeah, Angela Barretts for Apple was just one of the nicest ladies who I loved working for. Yvonne Stewart for Bath and Body Works. I love that lady, and she helped my career. I love working for women. But I don't want one leading the country, though. Just saying.
It's a different kind of tasking, right? And my main kind of, I guess, my thought process behind that was, the first 23 senators in our government were all African American, Republican. Like the first, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm getting at. I guess what I'm saying is I would put money on the fact that the first woman president would be a Republican over a Democrat, just because the Democrat Party has gone so far left and more of the Republican Party has kind of stayed more mainstream, kind of more moderate. So I could see that being an easier sale.
Yeah. But I don't think there's a qualified Republican candidate right now. A lot of people say Kat Kamik. Kat Kamik's not going to be president of the United States. She's very smart. I love her. She's tough. She's not going to be the president of the United States. So right now, it's just we're not there yet. That's all. We're not there yet. It's going to take some time. I think we get there, but not right now. And I'll be honest with you. If a Jean Fitzpatrick or a Margaret Thatcher type woman comes around, then maybe. But like I've said before, please someone tell me a transformational woman in politics.
It'd be hard with a woman in politics because you're going to have the whole Middle East who will completely not want to even talk to us at that point.
Listen, there's women leaders all over the world, honey. Mexico has had a female president, and a lot of Latin countries have had female presidents. England has had a prime minister. It's not new. It's just it's the qualifications. It's the demeanor. It's the workload. It's hard to explain. And I don't mean to be rude, but we've had women officers. It fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest. I've had officers who are women. Every single woman officer I've ever had was horrible. Except for IS-1 Kopler. She was ridiculous. She worked for DevGru. That fucking woman was badass. Like, that's a woman who could be president. IS-1 Kopler, she went to the CIA, but she was ridiculous. She was like...
What's an IS-1 for those uninitiated, Matt?
Intelligence specialist first class, and she was an E6 and ridiculous and super smart. She made senior chief. She was with DevGru. She worked with the SEAL teams. She is badass, and she really was NSWAG before NSWAG was born. What she did, IS-1 Kopler, what she did was revolutionary for the NSWAG and the Expeditionary Force, where Intel started working with the teams. She laid the groundwork for that. Amazing woman. But my point is that I've had female officers before, and it's just not the same. I hate to say it, in the government, it is predominantly men. The higher echelon of the Joint Chiefs is male, and you've got to be able to command that respect. And I'm telling you, I haven't seen a woman who can handle the Joint Chiefs. I'm just letting you know that it's a very difficult thing because there is sexism in the military, and you have to earn it. It's just different. Kat Kamik is great. I don't see her as a president. But.
It's hard to imagine somebody so alpha because let's face it, that's what the presidential position is. It's an alpha position, someone who took, no prisoners, somebody who just lives on the edge. It's hard to imagine someone, a woman so alpha that they would out alpha someone like, give me like a Theodore Roosevelt, right? Or Bill Clinton, or not that he was that alpha. But you get what I'm
pretty
saying.
Alpha. He's pretty alpha.
You get what I'm saying.
He put a cigar where a cigar should never have gone. That's pretty alpha. saying.
You get my point. Is that it's hard to imagine a woman that would out alpha somebody like that.
Yeah. Ladies, are we crazy? What do you think? Are we?
Yeah,
By the way,
that's-
folks, if you've not had a chance, thedumshow.com/donate. Listen. Just because we have a goal, we're always looking to do more. This is the time. It's very, very important. This month is a big month for us. If you have the opportunity, help us out. If you wouldn't mind donating, Amy, what do you think? Olivia, are we sexist pigs? Are we sexist pig dogs? Or
No, because I see a lot of women say I'm not ready for a woman president. And I'm not ready for a woman president until that right woman comes along. But there just hasn't been a right woman. And I don't know many women in politics. If they stepped up, I would vote for right now. It's going to have to be someone completely new out of the blue.
Ames,
So
what do you agree or disagree?
I concur. There is no one right now that I would vote for. But I'm not saying I would never vote for a female. I think that will happen within our lifetime. But I'm really grateful it was not KAMALA, whatever her name is. I'm so grateful it was not her. Hillary Clinton would have, but Hillary Clinton looks good compared to KAMALA.
Yes, it's
yes,
true.
that's
It's
absolutely
true.
true.
I would actually rather have fucking Hillary Clinton than Kamala Harris. And that is something I never thought I would ever say. Like, I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Hillary Clinton seems to have charm compared to fucking Kamala Harris.
Charisma, you know.
Right.
Oh my God.
People
it's
are
so
afraid
true.
of her. Like, I think a lot
Right.
of countries would be like, oh shit, Hillary's gonna
Right, she's gonna off us all. We're all gonna fall on some bullets.
Right.
So here's why a woman can't be president. Okay, here it is. This is I've hit politics girl before. Millions of followers. It makes me just want to throw up and quit my job sometimes. She makes it. First of all, she's always in the kitchen, but she never cooks anything. So first of all, figure it out, lady. Seriously,
God, that's horrible.
just throw a pot pie in there. You're always in the fucking kitchen.
Wow.
You cook. She is. She shoots her show from the kitchen. I'm like, cook something. Just saying, cook something. Anyway, this is why women can't be president, because this is a very smart lady who is just completely just wacka.
So this is for the people who are laughing at liberals right now, who think
I'm one
it
of
is
them.
hilarious.
That's me right here. I am laughing my ass off. They say we're angry. I'm not angry. I'm so stoked that we get Donald Trump for 4 years and we can just make fun of you guys. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm laughing.
Yes, to see us devastated by the results of this election. I just want you to understand that the pain that you're seeing isn't about our candidate or our party losing. It's about America losing. It's about us losing our freedoms, our rule of law, our place in the world order, losing the moral high ground of a good and decent.
Oh my God. If you say the moral high ground, I just want to punch myself in the dick.
Oh, God.
The moral high ground.
Freaking freedoms. We're losing our freedoms. Anytime I hear someone say that, I just want to
But
punch them.
Anakin, I've got the moral high ground. Don't do it.
Nation. We are upset because we know that the foundational pillars of American society, the ones we all count on, like liberty and justice and truth, are all going to be gone under this next administration.
Oh my God.
And it's possible we never get them back. And just to be clear, that's not just going to hurt us. It's going to hurt you.
No, it's not.
So when you're done being excited about owning the libs, there's going to come a time where you realize.
I thought ownership wasn't legal. Wait a second. I thought the 13th,
It's
14th.
9/10 of the law, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying we can own people again, I'm totally down for owning a lib or two. A little whiny, but I'm sure I can teach them how to clean. Maybe she's available.
That voting
Given
for our
my
criminals
heritage,
surrounded-
She won't
I
cook
could
you
be up in the
anything
auction
though,
block.
so
Right. Yeah, because Leeroy's like, he's more black than Elizabeth Warren is Native American.
by criminals,
Well-
supported by self.
What?
I was gonna say, to be fair, Kamala cooks in the bathtub, so let's be.
Yeah, collard greens in the bathtub. Olivia, what did you say?
you said maybe she's available. She's not going to cook anything for you though.
Yeah, that's true. She's not going to cook. That's okay.
Serving oligarchs and calculated foreign adversaries was a bad idea. And as they dismantle our government and our healthcare and our social safety nets, as our national security and food sources are compromised, as our environment and justice.
Holy fuck, lady. It's not like the 7 day. Listen, it's not, there's not locusts in the sky, okay? There's not a blood moon. Like, can we just stop pretending that like this is like the end of times and like we're going to get the 7th seal? Can you give me a break?
Did everyone just like 2016 to 2020, is that just like wiped from their memories? Do you not remember President Trump being president before?
You're so dramatic.
He ran the country for 4 years.
Right.
They're just dumb. They're just
I kind of want it to happen. You know what? I want Trump to take office and then like literally just start marching women in chains. If you're not married and you don't have a child and you're not like together with a man, you get hauled off to a camp and just to fuck with them for one day. Just start going into people's houses and they're screaming, "Oh my God, I told you it's gonna happen!" And Donald Trump's like there, ha ha ha. And then he lets them go and gives them like $100,000. I was just fucking with you guys to see what you would do. I wish.
That would be awesome.
It'd be fucking incredible.
We should, honestly, and as you were saying that, watching this lady in the kitchen, I had this amazing idea for an SNL skit or something that maybe we should do at some point. You know who would be great at it? Damani. Damani would be great at this. Have host a cooking channel, but it's based on communism, right? So the only things that are allowed to be made are like borscht and gruel and
right. Porridge, just fucking oats, just oats, oats made out of hay.
The best stew that you can come up with from places like Venezuela. Yeah.
Cooking for communists.
Cooking for communists, right? Like moss. It would be like peat moss and Spanish moss soup. Oh, fucking and potato rock soup. Good. Potato rock soup. You boil a rock and then you drink. Oh, it's fantastic. The broth of a rock is just delicious.
The system are abandoned. You're going to understand.
Hey, don't knock grass pie. I like grass pie.
It wasn't just us woke losers who lost. It was you and your people and your friends and your children. So maybe just consider giving us just a tiny bit of grace as we come to terms.
Grace.
You for
believe
what?
You believe in God now? No, you don't get grace.
You didn't give us grace for the last 4 years, shoving it in our face.
Yeah,
so fuck you.
Fuck you, Ivan. You know, seriously. Okay, Marsha. It's always Marsha.
Okay, politics girl.
Whatever. Dandelion soup. Yes, it sounds good.
With the horrible world you chose for us, and we try to find a way to help the people who are going to suffer most and figure out a way to fight back. And you're going to want that for us, because I know a fair amount of you are going to eventually come over to our way of thinking, because the incompetence and the corruption and the suffering are going to be so evident, you won't be able to miss it. But we have to make sure that by then it's not too late and we can still work together to do something about this. So just understand that we're sad right now because we know we were telling you the truth. And we are just so heartbroken that you preferred the lies.
You know what she reminds me of? This is what I think of her. I think she is a stay-at-home mom who has way too much time on her hands.
Yeah.
But she's not just any stay-at-home mom. She's like the perfect Pinterest stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
She's the one who shows up at the bus stop at 7:30 a.m. with full face of makeup, completely done in her tennis outfit, all ready to go for the day in her high heels. Out there like, I'm the perfect mom. And then she comes home and puts on a hoodie and tries to act all like mainstream and cool to get looks. That's what she reminds me of. She's one of those stupid PTO moms that I hated in school.
Oh, yeah. She melts
There was a couple
down.
of them that I hated them.
She melts down on CNN. Like, it's so easy to trigger her. Like, you know, and that's like, I would love to go on CNN because I just, my attitude is, oh, that was good, dude. Good job. That was you got me, man. That was good. Wait, because what are we going to argue about, right? What is? I don't understand. This isn't debate. This isn't an exchange of ideas. This is you preaching on the pulpit and being a prognosticator. You're about as fucking accurate as Nostradamus. And they're like, well, hold on a second. Nostradamus got 50 things correct. Yeah, after he guessed 50,000 things that weren't. I have a broken clock that's right twice a day, for God's sakes. So these people, he was already fucking president, people. What do you think's going to happen?
Well,
do you think he's just going to be like, he's going to call Vladimir Putin and be like, he's going to hop off of a fucking sub and walk into Washington and Donald Trump's going to be like, here's the keys. I mean, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? That we're going to become Russia all of a sudden? I mean, what the hell's wrong with you people?
On that point, I made a point of that earlier today. I visit a couple of different political sites on the Facebook because that's how I say it. I'm old. when people talk
Hi.
about that, and they routinely do it as such to say, "Oh, Trump is just going to become Putin's bitch again," and I think to myself,
Again?
where do you come up with this? And I went ahead and pulled up the numbers and I posted them. GDP in the United States this year was $27.2 trillion. Russia was $2 trillion. Who is whose bitch here?
Right, folks. We're about
$27 trillion.
Oh, $3.24 away from goal, folks. Seriously, we can't let that happen.
We can get that from the DOD, I think.
We need some help. we need some help, folks. Listen, just because we hit 250 doesn't mean that we're there. We a lot of big plans for the show. A lot of things coming in the future. A lot of plans for 2025. You want to see the show keep growing. You want to see some guests come on the show. You want to expand. This is how we do it. We need some help. Please, if you can, help us out. It's 8:30. We haven't hit it yet, so I have to mention it again, even though I've been really good. And we try to do it twice per show and maybe a little splash here and there. RFK is not the right person for the HHS, according to Democrats. Excuse me, Democrats, where were you when you selected this? Because I don't know what this is. Here you go. Merry Christmas.
I'm Admiral Rachel Levine, and we're here talking about food is medicine. I'm so excited to speak with Leah Pryor, executive chef and founder of the Culinary Medicine Program at the University of Vermont Medical Center. Tell us what people should know about your model and maybe how other medical centers could replicate your model to help people.
So when I think about how we can move the needle, I really like to think, how do we get that into the hands of the practitioner? So right now, what we are really focusing on is we're focusing on building curriculum for our School of Medicine, for our School of Nursing, as well as dietetics, health coaching, and basically any type of clinician or practitioner who can use this tool. So when I think about...
Why do I think this is all euphemisms for cock?
Right.
I mean, the same thing. I'm like, are we talking about dicks here? I mean, I'm hearing about needles. Right, dude? I mean, I'm surprised you're like, listen, we need to put the shaft in the veiny, throbbing heartbeat of America in the small, supple hands of what the. Go ahead, Amy.
I swear to God, at that exact point, I envisioned that person as if to say the only proper way to eat Snickers is upside down so that the veiny part hits your tongue first, you know?
Amy, go ahead. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah.
Amy, go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Debbie from Rumble Chat. To your point, it's on the screen, plug and play programming. I mean, this is truly some of the most, it's
innuendo.
to listen to, and I don't want to watch it either. It's like these people, they're so interesting looking.
We're talking about dick. Yes, it's exactly
plug and
what it
play
is.
programming and talking to other universities and other healthcare kind of organizations. I really see it as the way we make actual change. We have a chef educator, which I am one myself. We have a registered dietitians. We have relationships with PT and OT, and we also have a garden educator who is a horticultural therapist. So when you look at that team, you really see all the scopes that can really help people get to their optimal health. We have all of these programs like shared medical appointments where we work with a doctor.
Dude, you liberals, you never get to tell us. Listen, if you want me to show the appointments, there's some really fucked up people that were appointed, and nobody questioned their qualifications. Here's the thing, real quick, and then I'm going to open it up to the panel. Last night, we heard, and Olivia and I almost shat purple Twinkies in the bed, is somebody say, we need to hire people based on merit. And they need to have the qualifications to get the job. And Olivia and I almost shat ourselves. I'm like, what the fuck happened to DEI?
Exactly.
What happened to it's about what's in between your legs or who you sleep with
or what you chopped off in between your legs.
Or if you're an American Indian or some shit. Now it's based on meritocracy. Now it's based on if you are actually qualified for the job. If I was Matt Gaetz, if I was Donald Trump and they're like, listen, your picks, RFK, Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth. We've got some questions. And then all he's got to say is, we're all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we believe that everyone should be, they're DEI hire. That is what I would say, and tell them to piss off. Throw it back in their face.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. Just about 2-3 minutes ago, I texted you guys a video of, it was Kamala's campaign kind of advertisement, and I cut in the second part of the video. It's only 45 seconds as far as why she lost today.
Yeah. I will
If you
play
want
it,
to
right?
play it.
No, I'm going to play it. You want to?
There's
You're
obviously-
a part of the show. I want to go ahead and just show you Jen Psaki. By the way, listen, I don't want to degrade people. I don't want to degrade people's looks. That's not my job, right? I don't like doing that. I don't really want to do that. I think I saw Jen Psaki without makeup today.
Oh.
Holy fuck. Carrot Top is looking better. I mean, it's bad. Like,
that's rough.
Like, do you remember Katie, our friend Katie in Colorado? And then we saw her without makeup the first time when she spent the night. And we're like, holy shit, what happened? What did you do with our friend? Did you kill her? Are you wearing her skin? Are you wearing her skin? What do you do with our friend? Where is she? It was that bad.
I don't make fun of people's looks, but man, if you're going to give me health
I
advice,
do.
you better look freaking healthy. My God, I'm not going to take health advice from that. Not a freaking chance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have you tell my children what's healthy, what's not. No.
Yeah.
You got to at least be somewhat healthy yourself.
Yeah.
Look normal.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, look, I'm not proud of this, but we do judge people. I tell my kids all the time, I'm always pointing out people with the crazy hair and the freaking pajama pants. We see them all the time. I'm like, do you see this person? My kids are like, yeah, they look like they're crazy. I'm like, yes, please remind yourself every day that take pride in your appearance. You don't have to be the most gorgeous person on the face of the earth, but you need to always dress tidy and do your hair and make sure your shoes don't have holes in them and wear a belt, like all this stuff. Like just take pride in your appearance. And when you see somebody who's got like the shaved, I don't know what that was. And then, yes, she was not looking healthy. I don't know. Like, I'm not like the most in shape person. I need to lose 15 pounds at least, but you know, I just accept that. I'm not here peddling health advice and claiming to know it all either.
It's funny you were making fun of that, Amy, because the first thing that I thought of when I saw that poofy thing in 1986, there was a comedy called Running Scared, and one of the villains' name was Snake, and that's exactly the same haircut. It was like a parakeet. It was awesome.
Right. It's bad. And I just want to I just watch this. It's the best thing I can show you to help you understand what the hell I'm talking about. Here, watch this.
A lot of.
By the way, liberals, if you want to know why you lost, this is why you lost. As abortion, we underestimated in 2020 and 2022, even though I told you it was all on the ballot. You underestimated this transgender shit. I'm just letting you know, liberals, you did not. The silent killer in this election will be the transgender stuff. You made less than 1% of the population your focus for 4 fucking years, and everyone is repudiating your idiocy. There is no such thing as a man that can be a woman and a woman that can be a man. Everybody fucking knows that. We are sick and tired of playing like we're 6 years old and we are the knight and you're the fairy princess up in the tower. You are living in a fantasy world. And it's not the only thing you're living in a fantasy world. You've denied that human life exists in the womb. That's another fantasy you've lived, okay? You also live a fantasy that the whole world's going to end. For the last freaking 75 years, you have been saying it. From murder hornets to ozone to global warming to the Amazon rainforest to nuclear reactors. Holy shit, I can give you a list. You people are nuts. Now, Jen Psaki is doubling down on trannies for 2028. Enjoy this.
Goodness.
Soul searching right now going on within the Democratic Party, and that's a good thing. But what I worry about is that in the course of all that soul searching, some Democrats might reach the wrong sweeping conclusions. And there are a lot of issues that fall into that bucket. But one in particular that stuck out to me is transgender rights. Republicans spent hundreds of millions of dollars on anti-trans ads this election cycle, including one that showed Vice President Harris talking about government funding for gender reaffirming care for prisoners and detainees. If that sounds like a particularly obscure issue, it is, because it applies to a tiny group of people. And it's also a policy that, by the way, was in place during the first Trump presidency. Another one of the lines that ran over and over again in those ads and throughout right-wing media is this idea that America is faced with a crisis of boys playing in girls' sports. Now, these ads created this perception that the issues of trans kids playing sports was dominating schools across the country, which is completely false. Some people got pulled into that argument. I mean, immediately after the election, Congressman Seth Moulton told the New York Times that, quote, Democrats spend way too much time trying not to offend anyone rather than being brutally honest about the challenges many Americans face. I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. And then last weekend, Congressman Moulton came on this network to discuss those comments.
I was just speaking authentically as a dad about one of many issues where I think we're just out of touch with the majority of voters. And I stand by my position. You know, maybe I didn't get all the words exactly right. But the point is that the backlash I've received proves my point that we can't even have these discussions as a party.
Look, reflection is good. But if that were actually an issue at thousands of schools across the country, it would be worthy of a debate. But there are just incredibly few examples of transgender girls playing in youth sports. And when we see those examples, there isn't evidence that these kids are a threat to safety or fairness.
You know, the plague only affected a couple people when it first started. We should just let it. Who cares? You got a cough? Oh, that's okay. God bless you, by the way. Oh my fucking God, you just turned blue. Your veins are popping out of your face and now you're dead and you're bleeding from your ass. Should be fine. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but mental sickness is a disease. And if it goes unaddressed and it goes undiagnosed, we get essentially the Democratic Party. I don't care if it's one. You guys said that with the apartment buildings and Venezuela gangs. I don't care if it's just a few. There shouldn't be men in women's restrooms. Oh, well, if you're a dad and you got to go take your daughter to the restroom, what do you do? Oh. Well, what do I do in Texas is I asked a nice lady who had kids if she wouldn't mind taking my daughter in the bathroom, and I waited outside. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, open this up for debate. Do we really think this trans thing is going to continue to be the focal point for the next 4 years for the Democrats? Because haven't they learned? Yes, it's important to recognize minorities. Yes, trans rights are human rights. Nobody said it they're not. Okay, I don't know what to say, but I think I've heard enough of this, and I think we're good with the victimhood politics because I'm just so tired of it.
They need to choose one: abortion or trans rights. they got to figure this out. It's splitting them. They're splitting in two, and they're not strong when they're split. Pick a dumb topic to support, and then support it. But this going all over the map is just freaking nuts. And I don't know. Honestly, you guys need a new thing to support because everything you do is dumb anyway. So just, pick something else. Honestly, I'd be terrified of what else they would pick.
The MSNBC is going to go out of business any day now anyway. Amy, Leeroy, anything on trans rights, whatever?
Amy, you go first.
Yeah, I agree. I'm incredibly tired of trans rights. I'm also incredibly tired of seeing the trans out in the world and living their mental illness out. I have to accept it too. And I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. There's every trans person that I've seen has been young. There's no adults. They're all barely legal adult. They're probably 17, 18, 19 years old. They're all young, working at fast food places, diner, places that you don't need an education to get a job. So I think it's a mental health crisis. I think we should help these young people. And I think if we stop talking about it, maybe it will stop being this chronic like wave of like there's so many people that are continuing to pick up on this. So I want to be different. I want to be special. I'm going to be a trans person now, and just feeding into it, because there is a mental health contagion. We did not have this issue 15 years ago. So why do we have all these trans kids now? What happened?
I can answer that. Dr. James Lindsay does a really, really amazing breakdown on several different occasions of video format. They're YouTubeable. Don't leave the channel. Don't go watch them now. Wait until we're done. But he does a really great breakdown of it. And what he describes it as is transgenderism is the newest form of victimhood in order to implant, in order to inject something called neo-Marxism into the culture. And transgenderism or DEI, any of that was first, it was kind of introduced into the schools, right? Then colleges, then workplaces, then the government. And that's how it got its foothold. And so it's just another form of victimhood. This is a group of people who are basically saying these people are victims and we're here to advocate for them. And you're bad if you don't agree with that. And the first form of victimhood that they tried to use were the people of color, right? Blacks, Hispanics, women, sure, certainly to a degree, right? When that evened out, when that kind of play ran its course, and the latest pollings started to show more and more people showing support for the Republican Party, and as more of the true history of the Democrat Party and their amazing history with blacks kind of started getting out there more, they needed to find different forms of victimhood. Hence the DEI, right? And at first it was abortion. That was the big ticket for the day, right? They just got done using that one. If you don't vote for abortion, you're a bad person. Well, what's the percentage of the American population that's affected by abortion? It's what, less than 5%, I'm guessing? I don't know. If somebody could check that for me and drop it in the comments.
I've got another stat that's coming that's going to be better than that. That's directly related to trans. So hold that thought if that's okay.
Well, that was my next one. That was the next point, was what's the percentage of trans people in the United States? So at some point, the Democrat Party has to shift from focusing on victimhood and trying to figure out what the hell is best for the middle class American, because that's who you said you represented at one point.
Right.
Here's the breakdown, and I've done the math for you. Now, this is going to go into some serious chaos theory, okay, folks, so relax. Can anyone tell me who this person is? Anyone tell me?
Is that the chick from Transformers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Do you see her?
All her kids and the wrong
It's
gender.
Megan. Yeah. Do you see the three children?
Yes.
Yeah. 3 boys.
They are all boys.
And they're all supposedly trans. So I decided,
considering from the time they were 3, but
that's just disgusting. I'm sorry. That's child abuse.
Yeah, it's child abuse.
Okay. So Yeti, no? Okay. So I decided to go ahead and do the math on this. The equation is P, all 3 transgenders, equals P, transgender to the 3rd power. Calculate the probability of all 3 children being transgender, and here's the breakdown. Independent events. Each child's gender identity is assumed to be independent of the others, meaning the likelihood of one being transgender does not affect the likelihood of another. Just like that's roulette wheel, honey. See? One being transgender doesn't impact the others.
Fucking roulette wheel.
Okay, son of a bitch.
Is this a Venn diagram?
The probability of a single event, the probability of one child being transgender is 1.4, or without a full percentage would be 0.014%. Okay? Written out. Not percent, 0.014. For independent events, the probability of all of them happening together is the product of their individual probabilities. Fair? So it doesn't, they don't worsen or get better with the amount of kids that they have. Except when you go ahead and try to discover the probability of them being all in one family, the odds get really fucking bad. We're going to get to that. The probability of any one child being transgender is P, parentheses, quotation marks, parentheses, transgender equals 0.014. Since there are 3 children and the events are independent, the probability that all 3 are transgender is P, all 3 transgender, equals P transgender times P transgender times P transgender times P transgender. This simplifies to P, all 3 transgender, P transgender to the 3rd power. Plug in the probability of one child being transgender at 0.014. You would take P, all 3 transgender, equals 0.14 to the 3rd power. When you calculate 0.014 times 0.104 times 0.104, you get approximately 0.0000000000274% chance of 3 children being transgender in one family. This isn't a genealogical problem. This isn't a I was born this way problem. This is your mother is fucking crazy and wanted you boys to be bitches. That is a probability that is undisputed.
Could you
I would love for you guys to
multiply
discuss
that number? Could you take that number and multiply that times the number of people on the planet, roughly 7 billion? Because if it's not even 1 at that point,
it's
then
not.
literally, she's
not.
the only people. These are the
Right.
only people on the planet like that, then, right?
Well, there's the Disney people too.
No, I'm not done. Wait. If you
Disney
if you
lady.
I
really,
feel bad for Brian Austin Green.
Her kid's trans.
no. Let me wow you. J-Lo has a trans child. Ben Affleck has a trans child. Megan Fox has 3 sons that are allegedly trans. Charlize Theron has a trans child. Naomi Watts has a trans child. Angelina Jolie tried to make Shiloh trans. Jamie Lee Curtis has a trans man child. And I forgot about the Brits that I have one too. It's a cult. So if you
for your share.
Yeah.
Sure.
It comes down to this. This is a mental disorder, okay?
Yes.
And I don't care what you say. Because I just did the math, and the math says you're fucking crazy. That it's impossible. The odds of you having a transgender child are so astronomically fucking high that you probably will have a shark child before you have a trans child. It is a abnormality of epic proportions, but it is increasing because it is psychological trauma and child abuse. You are projecting your fucked up vision of the world and what your child should be, and you believe you should be able to choose your child's gender because they're yours. That is fucked up beyond Hogan's goat. That's some weird shit.
Yes. Just to touch on that really quickly, that is a huge problem with our entire, mostly, I will say it's probably mostly the United States. I don't know how prevalent this is in other countries, but people here, and I thought when I had kids, I had kids because I was like, I want kids. And then after the first one, you're like, oh shit, I wanted to have a kid, but I have now raising them because they're their own individual. They're not mine. They don't belong to me. They're a real human. I have to raise them to the best that they can be, not what I want for them. Of course, I want certain things for my kids, but I'm going to do what's best for them. And the United States does not do that. We are all about ourselves selfishly. Even our kids are like property to many people.
Yeah, real quick. There's a lot of people who think that your kids, they don't belong to you. They belong to society. Whoever's calling, what would you like to talk about?
What's going on, guys? It's Mike from Georgia. How you doing today?
What's up, Mikey
Hey,
from
Mike.
Georgia?
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. I know it's been a minute. Sorry. I was gone for a week, but I wanted to just voice my opinion here, if you don't mind, about this.
Sure.
The Megan Fox story. Had no clue at all. The first thing that comes to my mind is, and this is going to be a bit controversial, I think, to a lot of people, but it's an honest opinion of my own. It's when did women just forget to be, cool with being called hot? And I think that's actually what's happening. I'm being completely serious about it too. It's maybe Megan grew up in, Transformers came out when I was in high school, and all of us, all the boys, we called her hot. We're like, that's going to be our wife one day. That's what we're going for. And then look at the 3 kids, right? Like, to hear that tonight, I was just flabbergasted. I was like, are you joking? Those are seriously boys? Those are her kids?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're boys.
she was literally a trophy for 16-year-olds like me when I was in high school growing up. And then you mentioned J-Lo. That's news to me. Like, what do you guys think? Like, these are all attractive women. Like, what's going on?
Well, I'll tell you, I think Megan Fox took Transformers just a little too seriously, is what I think.
Realistic.
Thank you.
More than meets the eye, right? I think there is a Hollywood belief structure in the cabal, in a strange and very narcissistic look at how important they are. And that somehow in Hollywood, to be categorized as a societal construct and to be accepted in that construct, whoever does the most outlandish shit that makes no sense usually gets the most notoriety and popularity. Look at Madonna. She rolled around on the ground and saying, like a virgin, hey, in front of the fucking Vatican. That, a little kinky. It got her notoriety. Then when she wasn't good enough, she's like, let's light a church on fire and kiss a black man on top of an altar. Wow, that was good. And then she just decided to say, fuck it, let's just start doing porn. It's always been Hollywood just to completely go over the top and push the limits. If you take a look at Nabokov and you take a look at the writers and you look at the focus on pedophilia and the fascination with children, whether it be Shirley Temple or the nudity with Brooke Shields, you look at some of the stuff that they did to these child actors, there is a very strange fixation on children in Hollywood. And people talk about the sex trafficking and all this stuff. I have no doubt. And hopefully somebody will crack the code on this, but this isn't anything new. It's been illicit with drug use. Alcoholism is absolutely just like it runs rampant in Hollywood. Depression, no-dose, self-medication, all of this shit. It is literally the 7 deadly sins, and they are alive and well. And it's a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah in Hollywood. And I'm waiting for it to turn to a pillar of salt. So there's my answer. That's the best one I can give you. Whether it's because they're hot or not, I don't know. I think Megan Fox looks like she has hepatitis. So I've never found her.
She was pretty in Transformers. Now she's
not. That's Kesha. I think you're talking about there.
So anyway, there's my answer. Anyone else want to answer about this, please?
Yeah. I mean, Phil on Twitter just said that trans kids in Hollywood are like the new purse dog. And I'm not calling trans kids dogs, but 15 years ago, every celebrity had a cute little purse dog with a cute little matching purse. And blah, 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 blah.
She's pissed. Cat meowed at you.
I'm sorry. And now you don't see the purse dogs anymore. You see trans children. So they're trying to one up each other. And you know, I agree with you. They're just being outlandish to see who can get the most attention. And it's pitiful and it's horrible. And they're using their children as pawns. And it's sad.
Yeah. Leeroy,
can I pivot on that statement right there?
After Leeroy goes, because he's gonna fucking pop if he doesn't get this.
Let's go, Leeroy. I still have your yarmulke. Going. Go ahead.
I would just emphasize that for once Hollywood has it right. In other words, a lot of times, a lot of the stories that come out between Beauty, the Beast, and everything else suggests that maybe not the most attractive person is the best choice, because what we're seeing here in this case is the hottest person or the most attractive person who is clearly out of their mind. And so attractiveness, or that what science has deemed like the golden ratio in terms of a facial structure, doesn't mean mental wellness.
Right. And last thing, and then I'll turn it back over to you, is if it was based on looks that your kids are trans, then my kids would fucking be in Victoria and they'd be wearing pink boas because Olivia and I are smoking. I'm just going to say. Mike, go ahead, buddy.
Yes, sir. Not agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing either. That'd be weird for me to agree, though. Point, though,
well, you've already crossed that line once, Mike. You can do it again.
That was 2 weeks ago, man. I thought we were past that.
We are past it. We're past
what I was really getting at here, though, is you bring up the fact of this is the norm, this is the thing that they want to do because it's the new thing. Like you have your little puppy purse, and then, or your purse puppy, whatever you want to call it, and now you have the trans kids. Is that this would be my only final question, which is kind of my hypothesis, is that more nature over nurture, or is that nurture over nature? So basically, right, like I know we all understand what that means, right? But is that
Right.
something that in Megan's case, did she grow up and then take the faults of her parents and then push them down to her kids? Or did she grow into a society that said, hey, just do this? And now we have her being the parent that is passing on her faults alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And it's a wonderful hypothetical to explore because we don't know Megan and I can't guess. But what I can say is that the odds of it happening are so astronomically fucking bad that I promise that she is the key influencer in the decision process, not the kids. And why she does it is immaterial to me. It's the fact that she has influenced 3 separate children to believe they are something they are not. Motives in this point are immaterial. It's kind of like trying to explain and trying to differentiate nature versus nurture when it comes to Ted Bundy. You know, is it because he wasn't accepted or he was reduced to an iota of himself by, you know, a college woman, or saw that his mother was college woman and left her father, and then therefore you had a fixation to somehow create retribution and payback and reciprocity for his father's honor? Or was it the fact that the guy just got off on smashing women's skulls in? I don't know, man. But what I do know is Megan Fox is completely fucked up, and her kids, unfortunately, are a byproduct of her psychoses. That's my opinion.
But, you know, God bless her and God bless this show. And I mean the second part more than the first. I really appreciate you guys taking the call. So you guys have a great night. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks,
we
Mike.
we love you, Mike. You're a funny guy, dude.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
like that. He needs to keep calling in. He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
Joe Biden was snuffed. No, I'm sorry.
Wait,
he wasn't
what?
snuffed. Yeah, sorry. Wrong word. I was thinking of Megan Fox. Snubbed. And this is why is it always the G20 summit that some fucked up shit happens on the world stage? Now, the thing is that the major contributors in the G20 summit, United States, China, England, Germany, France. These are, you know, the key players in the G20 summit, and in Sweden and Finland and in Norway and, you know, all the other countries involved. But there's a processes, in Canada too, because Trudeau sucks cock. But there's a processes that takes place where if the United States shows up, that's like the Queen of England, man. You roll the red carpet. Joe Biden was snubbed. And I mean embarrassingly. They're like, roll his bones out of here. Now, I'm going to show you the video. And I want you to tell me what you think Donald Trump would have done if he would have landed on the tarmac and the red carpet wasn't there. If they put him in the back effing row all the way to the left, when they do have to crop the shot, Joe Biden gets cut out and was shown absolutely no respect. Watch the video first, then I want your comments. Leeroy will go first, then Olivia, then Amy, then Olivia. Here is the video. Watch this.
Where was he? They're telling Biden. They're telling him to wait for Biden, guys. Oh my God. Do you see him, Joe? Far left. Left to the left of the palm tree. Oh my God. But they took it. Yep. It's right there.
They didn't wait for Joe Biden on the photograph. They took it without him. And then when they called for it, everyone just walked off and left him. Now, they also did not on the tarmac. They didn't roll out the red carpet, but they went ahead and this is ridiculous. They rolled it out for China and Xi. They gave him a red carpet. So you're literally seeing a socialist effort in the home country, demonstrating that China is now replacing the U.S. on the world stage in many places. This is the first time that Biden's been snubbed. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you think? Here we go. What do you think Donald Trump would have done the moment he looked down on Air Force One and saw that there was no red carpet? What do you think he would have done? Leeroy first, then Amy, then Olivia.
Honestly, if there was no red carpet at the base of Air Force One, I don't think Donald Trump, given what we've seen from him over the last year, that he would have taken it too far. Now, he may have questioned someone maybe after the fact, but I doubt very highly that he would just like not show up or delay anything. But that being said, I believe that when he did show up to the event, that he would have said, I'll be over here and I need everyone around me. I'll be in the middle. Yeah. It'll be fabulous. He would have done something like that.
Okay. He also fell asleep in the G20 summit, and I can't blame him. I would fall asleep. I fucking fall asleep when I watch it on TV. Yeah. But the United States of America was not represented in the photo. That should tell people something. What do you guys think? What would you do? So, Amy, you're Donald Trump. You see no carpet. What would you do in Brazil, where the Olympics were held, where we're supposed to be at one of the key partners in the relationship with Brazil? What would you do?
I would say this is not huge. Where's my carpet? I agree with Leeroy. I think I don't do a good impression. I'm terrible at impressions. I agree with you.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I believe that he would have. I think he would have had a backup carpet in the plane and told his people, like, get on this shit now. I want the carpet out. So, and because he's not going to be embarrassed, so he's going to have that already planned. He's so good at fixing things, so I think he would have had a plan. But Donald Trump really towers over a lot of other, political figures in the world. Like, he's tall, he's a big guy. He's not going to take shit, and yes, he will check people. I've seen him. He's touched like the Shah of some country before, right? That you're not allowed to touch. Like, he doesn't care. Now, I don't know what happened with Joe Biden. Was he just walking so flipping slow? Did he get lost on the way? I don't know the whole context of this, why he was snubbed. But it is embarrassing as the USA. Like, this is not good for us.
He was snubbed in the other group photo. They put him all the way on the third row, all the way in the back right. I'm not kidding. They literally just used him as a whipping boy all summit long. Olivia, we're going to get to your article and your video real quick, but okay. I want to get your final opinion on this before we move on. What would Donald Trump do?
We're giving Ukraine $64 billion, and they
we're going to talk. We're going to talk about that too. We got to get that checked off too. Go ahead, honey.
Well, the last 4 years, the U.S. has been the laughingstock of the world. There is absolutely no respect for us because of Joe Biden, because they know he's weak and that he doesn't have a backbone. He's got no spine. And they know he's not going to do anything. So they know that they can treat him like shit and nothing's going to happen. If that was Trump, it wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Right.
It would not have happened because he demands respect and he gets respect. And I guarantee on Tuesday, November 5th, when he was elected president, that every single country, their assholes puckered and went, oh, shit.
Yeah, especially Europe.
We're fucked now.
Especially Europe. Europe is like, oh, no.
Oh, they're like, oh,
no.
Fuck.
We got
2.5 months to freaking get our shit together or...
Burn the documents. Stampede the women and rape the cattle.
It would not have happened in the first place. There wouldn't even been any question.
Right. Good call. Donald Trump most assuredly would look down at the tarmac and say, we're fucking leaving.
Yeah.
Let's head back. First of all, I don't even know because here's the thing. You're right. He probably would have laid the law. If there's not a fucking red carpet there, if you even do that to Donald Trump, he's going to nuke your fucking country. They just don't. He doesn't play around, man. He doesn't fucking care. You wait for me. Like Donald Trump purposely does not show up in the middle. He shows up last for a reason. You wait on him. Remember the guy who was trying to walk in front of him at the expo and the Davos summit? Or no, it was G20. And he grabbed him and he threw him back and he looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing walking in front of me? I'm the president of the United States, dick. When Queen Elizabeth, he walked shoulder and shoulder and even took a couple steps in front of her. Donald Trump doesn't screw around with this type of stuff. Leeroy, you had a quick thing before we take it off the lid.
I did, because more than anything else, the moment you brought up Europe and the fact that Europe, everyone's asshole puckered in Europe, just real quick, I've seen several headlines that Germany, their economy is in serious trouble, like on the verge of collapse right now. And that's all over the internet. ABC ran a piece on that. Politico ran a piece on that. AP News ran a piece on that. And so when you're talking about from the last time Trump was in office and had everyone fess up in order to cover their costs for NATO, their obligations in NATO, now you've got a country like Germany who's literally teetering on economic collapse. Yeah, I think I would have puckered too.
All right, so I got to get to Olivia's story, and then we do have to touch on, and we're running out of time.
Can I say something? Mine is a very sombering topic. I don't know if I want to end the night on it. I mean, it's a pretty downer of a topic. We can talk about it later.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with honor killings?
We can talk about it later.
You don't want to discuss honor killings?
I figured it was going to be more towards the beginning of the show, and then we'd have humor afterwards.
Listen, Megan Fox, you picked the topic.
Well, I didn't realize I was going to be put on the freaking back right corner of the bleachers.
Well, listen, Biden, next time. Well, first of all, can I that's really... Can I just be honest? I
didn't cook you a pot pie. I'm sorry.
Can I just be completely honest? I completely fucking forgot until I looked over at this monitor and saw the window. I'm like, I got to get Olivia's topic.
I know you did.
Fine, then we won't talk about honor killings.
We'll do it later.
Is World War III, are we on the precipice of World War III because of the ATACMS that were authorized to launch in at overall 300-kilometer range into Russian territory and the Donbass region, Russian-controlled spaces? Will this create World War III? Leeroy. Oh, and what are your thoughts about it?
Oh, I have several thoughts. So way back when this was first proposed, this, if anybody recalls, this was a hard line for Russia. They said this was the line in the sand, and that if you did this, United States, if you allowed for this, that was a bridge too far, and they were going to take actions against it. So is it World War III? Yeah, I think we're right there. I think one more wrong move, if Ukraine actually follows through with this and goes along with it, because what do they have to lose, right? At this point, they're looking at the United States saying, well, they're 4,000 miles away. What do we care? We've got your $65 billion. Thank you very much. And the missiles. We're going to launch these and let the chips lay where they may, right? So I think it's very possible we are on the edge of that.
The United States essentially drew a circumference strike area and said, you can hit within these targets where the Korean soldiers are. It's not going to help our relationships with North Korea if the United States use U.S. weapons to kill North Koreans. I'm just pretty sure that's not going to create a warm and fuzzy. My thoughts are this. The left and the right are both asking, why in the fuck did Biden do this? And if both of them are asking, then it's probably a good question for us to ask the same question. Do I think Vladimir Putin's going to use a nuclear weapon by the time Trump takes office? No, I don't. Conventional warfare is the further that we get away from World War II, there's always a risk of conventional warfare happening. I think most people don't want war. I think most countries have recognized that expanding their territory is usually hitting weaker opponents. The thing that I always said, and I've always said this, is that Putin is going to get all that he wants and more from Ukraine, and he did. And I'm the one that said that Ukraine could hold out indefinitely with American support. I was right. Ukraine is not foreign to conflict. They're not as seasoned as Russian troops because of Afghanistan and other conflicts, but Ukrainians aren't pushovers. And one man defending his home is always stronger than 10 men trying to take it. Do I think we need to stay in Ukraine? No. Do I believe that Putin launched a massive offensive to up his position in the negotiations that are about to take place with Trump? Yes. And do I believe Zelensky is doing the same thing to up his negotiation power with the negotiations that are about to take place with Trump? Yes. That's what I think this is. I think it is a mutual exchange of a pissing contest. The danger is if NATO decides to go ahead and escalate and get involved, if that happens, then we're all in a world of shit.
Right.
Olivia, Amy, people want to hear the story, so we're going to do it quickly, okay?
Yeah, I see that.
And just probability of World War III firing off, slim to none. I believe we are in the throes of World War III, but I don't think this is a fast burn. I think this is, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of building up, but we are in the throes of it. I think these interactions and conflicts that are taking place from Taiwan to North Korea to Iran to Russia to Jews to Arabs, and soon Africa, by the way, as China opens up another naval port, are all going to fire off a very good chance for another world war. This is where Donald Trump needs to come in. He needs to say to Putin, we're going to open up Nord Stream 1 and 2. You're going to save Germany. You're going to go ahead and give them all the power, and they're going to go ahead and pay you, and so is Europe. And Zelensky, we're going to have NATO rebuild your country. Okay? So both of you need to shut the fuck up and sign the peace treaty, and both of you are going to go ahead and get everything you want and more. We're going to cut off the northern part of Donbass region. We're going to cut off the southern part. We're going to make it Russian province. We're going to make a buffer zone, almost a demilitarized zone like we did with North and South Korea to provide a buffer into NATO. And we're going to call it good. And we're going to walk away from this. We'll revisit in 10 years. Ukraine is going to go ahead and sign a decree that they are not going to join NATO for at least 20 years. And there we go, and you have a peace treaty, and we walk away. That is probably what you're going to see from Donald Trump and what he will broker. I think Russia realizes that they could throw full force and take over Ukraine. I don't think they want to. They're not willing to pay for the loss, and I don't think Ukraine wants that either. Trust me, they don't. So we get a treaty when Donald Trump comes in. That's my thought. Okay. Liv, uplifting story, folks. I want to share it with you.
Totally uplifting.
Olivia wanted to bring us honor killings. So welcome to the Hunger Games. Liv, go ahead. What did you want us to talk about today?
Okay, so honor killings, if anyone doesn't know what they are, it's Muslim families. It's Muslim men killing wives, daughters, sisters, killing them over dishonoring the family. Mainly daughters who are dating a person that is not Muslim, or being out in public with someone who is not Muslim or much older than them. And I looked into the stats, and it's over 5,000 a year. It's happening.
Oh my God.
Mainly in Muslim countries, but it's happening in the United States. The video that we're going to watch just happened like a week ago. One of the Harry Potter actresses played one of the Patil twins. It happened to her. She didn't die, but her dad and her brother attacked her. And she was talking to her boyfriend, who was not Muslim. And they came into her room, grabbed her hair, threw her across the room, started beating the crap out of her. Her mom calling her a slut and a whore and a prostitute the whole time. She snuck out of her window. I know. And it's just like, it's awful. And I looked up some more. There was one girl who was 20, and she was walking down the street with a man. He was Muslim, but he was twice her age, and they were just friends, and her father ran them over with his car. And it's awful. And I've seen stories on this before, and it's sad. And they're becoming more prevalent in the United States because the Muslim population is growing in the United States. And in my opinion, Muslim men don't look at women as a woman. They're not their equal. It's their property. Their daughters and their wives are their property to do with what they want. And their daughters don't get an opinion. And if they don't do with what they want, they will just discard them. And it's really, really sad.
You want me to play the video?
Yes.
All right, here it is.
According to court records, a 17-year-old victim told investigators her father had been threatening her with an honor killing after she refused to go to another country for an arranged marriage to an older man. She went to her school for help, which then led to the confrontation outside.
The dad was on his back and his daughter was on top of him, and he had her in a chokehold.
Josh Wagner was driving with his family near Timberline High School on October 18th when he noticed what he thought was a group of kids fighting. But as he jumped in to break up the fight, he realized it was a man choking a teenage girl.
It was pretty angering. I didn't know what was going on, why it was happening. All the kids were screaming, yelling.
Court records state Ihsan Ali was choking his 17-year-old daughter to the point where she had lost consciousness as other students and the girl's boyfriend tried to pull her away. According to court documents, the girl's mother, Zahra Ali, was also grabbing at the girl and choking her. Investigators say the girl's father also punched her boyfriend.
He proceeded to black out and, punched my son in the face.
Victor Barnes' son was one of the students trying to stop the confrontation and separate the girl from her parents. The girl eventually got away and ran into the school screaming, "My dad was trying to kill me," prompting a lockdown as staff blocked the girl's parents from getting to her. Barnes says the issues with the Alis have been going on for months, with one prior incident forcing them to get a temporary protection order against Zahra Ali. And court records state she was also banned from stepping onto school property.
This isn't right. And the more we continue to allow these type of actions to take place in a society where what the climate is what it is right now, post-election, there's just no place for that type of activity nowhere.
And we reached out to DCYF to see if they are investigating this case, but we were told that child welfare records are confidential. Court records, though, do state that the victim's school helped connect her with a safe place to stay. Reporting live in Lacey tonight, Lynn Wynn, KOMO News.
I took two things that I love.
Parents just don't understand,
Right.
Told you it was sombering. Sorry.
Yeah, what a fucking downer, Liv. Thanks a lot. Jeez.
Again, didn't think I was going to.
Does anyone want to contribute to the depressing, horribly?
I'm not a victim of that kind of abuse, but I am a victim of childhood abuse, and I will say that several years after the fact, that you start digesting, stories like this, stories of either child abuse or any type of abuse like that. If you close your eyes and you think, and I tell you to think of a dad or a father, you're going to get an image, and nowhere in there is a dad beating the shit out of his daughter going to be in one of those images if you're a normal man, which raises the next question, right? The people that do this, are they men? Because I would submit to you that they are not. That's my point.
Well, they're certainly not honorable. And the aspirations of what a man stands for, they have failed miserably. Your job as a man is to protect your flock.
Right.
And, obviously to procreate and reproduce. But then, in the animal kingdom, not all men stick around. But the ones that mate for life do, and they protect their children to the end. I think we can learn a lot from animals that don't have opposable thumbs and don't have the ability for rational thought. Because if you look at what a family of foxes, how they treat their pups, it is ridiculous. And from playing, from protection, from feeding and guidance and everything, it's a beautiful thing. And I don't mean to trivialize humans compared to foxes, but I think, if we treated everyone like we were in kindergarten and also treated everyone like certain animals do in the animal kingdom, we'd be much better off. I will tell you this, is that the Muslim religion is like all religions. There's good and there's bad. And most of the things that are included in the bad are not God's word or Muhammad's. It's the gross misrepresentation of human beings who are sinners and their actions in the name of their God. This is the inherent flaw with entrusting man with the word of God. And God doesn't make mistakes, but this one, man, I tell you what, we sure could use his input and use his influence, because I think this world is slowly going asunder.
The sad thing in all this is a lot of the stories I was reading about today, a lot of the moms were involved.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the moms were backing up the husbands.
Right.
But I also read some where they were American women who married a Muslim man. And this Muslim man back in 2008 shot both his daughters 9 times. 9 times, one in the head, one in the heart, 9 times each. His wife was American. And the reason why is they were both dating a boy that wasn't of the Muslim religion, and he killed them for it, both teenage girls. And the mom was devastated. But she's an American, and we value our family, and we value our loved ones. And as a mom, no matter who it was, I would step in front of anyone who was trying to hurt my children. Right. And it just, it blows my mind that those women don't care about that they, even though they are women and they've been treated like that their whole life, they will pass it down and treat their daughters like that. It just, I will never understand it.
Now, some things transcend religion and politics, and your family should be one of them. And, people probably ask the question, you believe in God. If God came down and said you need to sacrifice your child, would you? And I think a lot of Christians might say yes. Religion is a very powerful.
In the Bible, right? Like that was a whole.
Right,
Abraham.
I know. That's my.
I mean, but like.
That's my point.
But Abraham even knew. I mean, when he said, we'll be back. I think he already knew. Like God was not gonna. It was more of like a test, so to speak, than that. But I don't think God would ever ask anyone to sacrifice. It is a hell of a test, but
that's my
there
point.
was not a lot of good people. So,
first of all, I wasn't making any accusations that people's faith should surpass their own human emotions, or that it should or shouldn't. My point is that religion is a devout belief in the word that you follow, and Muslims follow it to the fucking letter. And I think there are Christians who do as well. And you don't have to be a zealot to believe in the word of God. I'm not saying religion is evil. What I'm saying is that there's people who take it literally and will follow the word of God. Is that an excuse? No, just the truth.
And I will say this, I don't believe that all religions, I just don't believe in all. I think there are evil religions. I think there are people who twist scripture, much like a lot of Muslims who are like those. There's like the Muslims who are like, they claim to be Muslim, and then there's like the Muslims like this who do the honor killings, who beat their wives.
Yes. They take the worst parts of the Quran.
Yes, they are probably misinterpreting. I've never read the Quran, so I can't speak for what it says, but maybe they're misinterpreting what it does say. I don't know, but that's complete evil. And I'm sorry, but any religion that glorifies murder or says that it's okay to murder anyone, including your family members at all, that is not a religion. That is not the way to God. The only way to God is, through Jesus Christ. And there's nothing that says to murder. Actually, that's one of our 10 commandments. Do not murder.
Can I just ask a question? Just get my ignorance, and I swear to God, I'm not trying to create a fight. So you repudiate you? No, I'm not. I'm asking a question because I don't understand. Are you saying that the Old Testament needs to be castigated out of Christianity?
No, because there's nothing in the Old Testament that says that you should murder your family. First of all, you have to. No, murdering and killing. So what we read today, if you actually go back and you research, the Aramaic versions and the Latin and the Greek versions, and you have them all, it's all translated differently. So the word kill and the word murder have been used kind of interchangeably, but the word kill in the Bible means to essentially you're avenging, like it's a just thing. And again, in the Old Testament, God was training us up. We were basically Neanderthal people. We didn't know how to live a civilized life. We're not We didn't come out of Eden like we are today. We were totally not cold. We had no clue about how to live. God had to train us up, and it took hundreds, thousands of years to get where we are today. And then it's all in the Old Testament. Like, women had no rights in the Old Testament, but it changed over time. He was like, okay, you guys got it now. Here's the new rules. Here's how you're going to act now. Go through a trauma. God's like, okay, you guys are good now. You got through that trauma. You got through this test. Now this is your new set of rules. And it repeats throughout the whole Bible.
The word for in the Quran is qatal, and it means killing. It's not murder. And the Quran doesn't specify murder either. It justifies the actions of killing infidels, and killing family members who breach the word of Allah. It has its parts, and so does the Old Testament that talks about stoning people who plant crops side by side, and murdering your brother for wearing garments of a different cloth, and touching the skin of an undead thing is. I mean, these are some really fucking weird things that are in the Old Testament, and I am with you. I don't think Christianity goes around and starts lopping people's heads off. I think we went through that phase and we've moved from it. And we are a religion of love in the New Testament and everything else, I understand. But what I'm saying is that the Quran says some things that are very similar, because as the Old Testament comes from ancient text of Hebrew and Judaism, a lot of those texts are also deciphered in Arabic in the Quran. And on all intents and purposes, those instructions are extremely, like, selling your children into slavery is acceptable and things like that. It's very, very it's very dark. So I'm not saying that Christians and Catholics are like Muslims and they're radicalized. What I'm saying is that the word of the religion is mostly peaceful for Muslims, and there's people who have radicalized and misinterpreted and distorted the word of Allah in the Quran. They've done that for our religion too. They've mercy killed or killed people based upon the word of God and Jesus Christ, and I think it's a false prophet situation, and I think it's horribly distorted from what the Bible says. So I just was asking you what you thought about the Old Testament. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I think the Old Testament is incredibly important. And I do think if you truly read the Bible with an open heart and going into it, just knowing that you're looking for God in the Bible and not answers to what you're not looking for yourself in the Bible. That's really the rule. Don't look for yourself in the Bible. Look for God and what he actually did for us. He loves us so much, but we were infants. We didn't, and that's the Old Testament. We didn't know shit back then. We really were like so simple-minded. We didn't know before the 10 Commandments even happened, Cain and Abel, well, that was the first murder ever committed. Well, we knew it was wrong, even though it was never outwardly stated. So there's a lot of nuance, but it is actually also spelled out if you truly pay attention to and I wish I had the time to study the Bible in depth. I just don't, but
me too.
I do study it a lot. Yeah. I do study it a lot though. And I think it's all true. And I do think it makes sense if you truly just have that, God loves us and this is his instructions for us. And we have to pay attention to it, not read it for what it is. And every part of the Bible also connects to other parts of the Bible that help to tie it all together.
Right. Yeah. And my only point on that whole entire thing is that every religion has its dark parts. And there's not a religion on the planet that's free from it. And you have to weigh the good and the bad. And you would have to go ahead and say Christianity is one of the only religions on the planet that is 100% focused on love. And I'm just saying that there are things in the Old Testament that state some very dark, in today's society, what would be considered civilized. I understand where you're coming from. New people, infants in the way of the world. I get it. I get it. Unfortunately, I think we have progressed from that to find a more civilized and better way of things through God's teachings. And I think a lot of Muslim radicals have not.
Agreed.
That's my point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't know a lot about the Muslim faith. I know a little bit, but I tell you, I don't know a lot of Muslims that I would ever really want close to me and my family because of their belief system, from what I know of it. And maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but my understanding is that they don't believe in love and they believe in killing their children, apparently. And I think
Some do.
Kidnapping.
Some do. Yes. Some do.
Real quick, just my 10 seconds, just that I just wish that we could collectively grab up every person from Dearborn, Michigan, because it's the highest population of Muslims, sit them down in like one of those giant drive-in movie theaters and make them all watch Not Without My Daughter in 1991. You know,
what an amazing movie.
That was
what an amazing
how
movie.
many of those wives would then
Yes.
pivot, look at their husband and go,
Yes.
I will strangle you with the hijab, you know?
Yeah, dude, no shit. I mean, that's a great point. And I think everyone's making valid points. I think we all have that feeling towards our kids. I think Kennedy said it best, and we all want to protect our children. And I think that's the one thing when we say thou shalt not kill, you harm our children, murder might be on the table. And but it would be justified at that point, I guess. Here's the final thought, and then I'm going to hand it on down. Olivia, Amy, and Leeroy. This show covers a lot of different topics, and we do it purposefully because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And if ever there's a topic that we talk about where you're like, hey, we want to spend more time on it, and religion is one that always seems to creep up every couple months, and it's always one where Amy thinks I'm challenging her to be a dick.
I don't. I give you a hard time.
I'm lost. And, you know, I believe the lost will be found, but I have questions, and I there's several people in this show who've helped me answer a lot of those questions, and Amy is one of them. I mean, my gosh. And Josh is another one who's been around for 4 years who helps me through. So I just have questions. That's all. I know a lot of Muslims who are wonderful and great people. What was the movie Revenant, Liv, that we watched about the soldier?
Covenant.
The Covenant. Go watch The Covenant.
Oh,
if you want to understand what Muslims are like, there's a lot of Afghanis and NGOs who are beautiful and wonderful people, and there's a lot of Muslims. There's a lot of Muslims who are shitbags. There's no doubt. But
I've met both. I've met a lot of Muslim people who are
both too.
amazing,
Yeah.
and then I've met some big shitbags
Yeah,
too.
go watch the Covenant, and I'm telling you, Amy, you will not be sad. It is a wonderful movie, so fucking accurate to the conflict within, and it's a beautiful story. It's gorgeous, and just go watch it. You'll love it. The actor
I'm not knocking, like the general population. I'd be saying that I wouldn't want like someone. I don't trust a lot of people close to me or to be close to my family, regardless.
Right.
But
it's okay.
you hear a lot of radical stuff at the Muslim religion, and I will say we did have someone close to not my immediate family, but my broader general family that was Muslim and turned out to be like a complete evil person. After I defended that person for a long time, like, no, they don't believe this crazy shit. Turns out they did, and they were.
You don't
crazy.
like ragheads. We get it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I hate
You
them
don't
all.
like them. Leeroy, go ahead.
I was just sitting here trying to jot down serious notes, and he's like, "Yeah, you don't like ragheads." Oh my god!
Listen, this show holds no fucking bars. Give me a break. Like we ever restrain ourselves? Why? It's just stupid not to. I mean, we just in that conversation, we just represented Muslims and Christians wonderfully.
Oh yeah.
We talked about the good, we talked about the bad, and we spoke ill, and we spoke well. It's the truth. And you know, if anyone takes offense to that, and fucking grow a pair. Just relax. We'll make fun of white people too. Trust me, we're doing it all night. A lot of white people we made fun of tonight. Leeroy, go ahead, close this out.
Now that I know that I'm not white, I can make fun of y'all. I'm just going to go around the horn saying, "Hey, whitey." All right. So you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter your nationality, your sex, your religion. In every one of those cases, there is always going to be a percentage of people built within those populations that are shitbags. So I think that was Amy who said that, to your point. And a percentage of people that you're going to find people on the other side of the planet who you would think you have nothing in common with. And if you were to sit down and have an honest to God conversation with them, you probably find out that you have 75% of your life, your morals are in alignment with that person. And that somewhere along the way that there was a group of people who are criticizing people just like we're doing now, right? And they're saying, oh yeah, Ahmed who from down the block did that, what a shitbag. You're going to find those types of conversations. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your nationality, sex, or your religion. Just don't be a shitbag. That's Amy's point.
That's it. God, what a great point it is, right? Thank you, Leeroy. Thank you, Amy. Olivia, and do you have anything else?
No, thank you, everyone.
Folks, we sold 48 bags of coffee last month. That was our highest coffee sales ever. The coffee is amazing. Now, the FJB brand, I'm thinking of rebranding the bags, but I'm not sure. But either way, you can go get it. The one compliment we always get on the bags is the bags last longer than any other coffee bags I've ever had. And the reason why is you don't need a lot. The juice is worth the squeeze. It is an oily coffee. It is a high yield, high producing coffee. It is a dense and amazing coffee. They are rich and they are robust. They are brewed 3 days before bagged and tagged, and they get the order, and he usually has them out. If you order before Thursday, if you order on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, he will have it out on Thursday. Anything after Friday, it'll come out usually the following Thursday. He brews once a week. And he's military veteran, Army. He goes all over the country. He goes to Sumatra. He goes to Hawaii, Ethiopia. He buys these beans every single year. He keeps them in a humid environment, air cooled in the summer, warm in the winter. It's ridiculous. I mean, this guy takes his beans seriously, almost to the point where it's a little fucking weird. But he is a good dude. We've been selling a ton of coffee. So if you have not been over to the DUM Show, please go over there and do that. Get some hats, some shirts. The jackets are just a fucking hit. We got a picture. I got to show you the picture. I know you guys got to take a picture. Someone fill the gap for 2 seconds and then we're going to go.
I just wanted to say that I think someone pointed out earlier that I am an equal opportunity hater. I apparently hate everyone. It's been
an equal opportunity hater. You hate everyone equally.
Everybody. No,
I think
you're a white woman. Yeah,
I like most people that I meet in real life. And if we don't agree on things, I just invite you to church with me on Sunday.
Amy, you are so kind.
I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, I don't.
You
I
really
don't
are.
Really know. I really don't. I don't really know what you're talking about. I don't. No, I'm kidding. Amy is a bit. Amy, no. Listen, when they say cleanliness is next to godliness, what they're trying to say is Amy is next to godliness. She is a good human being. Look at this jacket. I mean, look at this. Is beautiful, just gorgeous. People are in love with it. They love the jacket. That's it for me. Anybody else got anything, or we're gonna shove off?
No, that's it.
No.
Great
Folks,
night.
thanks for
Love the show.
Yeah, thank you for the donations, everyone. Because
that's amazing.
That's our goal. So
we needed a good night. We needed a good night, and we got it.
Amy, when do you need to talk?
Oh,
you said you needed to talk.
No, I was just saying I need. I said I was going to call you guys. I haven't because I got really busy with work unexpectedly. Everything's a little bit better, but I mean, you guys have been through it. You have kids. My son, he's just going through it right now. He's 10. He's about to turn 11 in a couple months, and he's going through the growing pains. And it's, he's just not the kid he was 3 months ago. And I'm like, who the hell are you? And this is not allowed.
Testosterone sucks. It sucks.
And I get it. We're supportive of him, but we're also like, there's still boundaries and rules in our house, dude. So like, you get nothing right now. Sorry.
Can I just say, if you need, surprisingly enough, with my rough exterior and disposition with my own kids, who I call fucktards often, I'm pretty good at being the dad. And if you need just a different set of eyes or a male figure to come in and have a conversation, anything I can do to help, and I'm not intruding, and you guys are fantastic
No.
parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and I know
do.
you won't take offense. Yeah, but if you just need me to beat the shit out of him, I'll do that too.
No,
So
that's the thing. He's like such a. I don't. You guys haven't spent a lot of time with my kid, but the consensus across the board about my son is he's the nicest person you'll ever meet. Like
he's a
every
sweetie.
teacher he's ever had, every coach he's ever had, all of his friends. Like no one can ever say like, "Well, he's a jerk," or "He was like." No, he's truly never has a bad word to say about. Even if people are outright dicks to him, he's like, "Well, they're probably having a bad day," and I'm like, "No, they're a motherfucker," but like I don't tell him that. I'm like,
whoa,
God, you know?
whoa! You better count some rosary on that one, sir.
Right, I will. I will. It's Monday, so
Go to confession. Did you clear your soul on Sunday? Then you're fine. You're good. You got till next week.
it's not.
I will tell you during that time, it's so important to get him to talk. And I kept all that shit in, and I went through. I didn't talk, and I was afraid to talk. I was afraid to tell the truth. So anyway, you don't need parenting advice. We love you. We support you. We'll say prayers. We do all the things that we do, and we know you're going to be fine. Anytime you need to talk to us, let us know.
Thank you guys. I do appreciate it, and I do. It's just been timing. So yeah.
At least they're not trans. So there you go.
They are not allowed to be. So
yeah, Megan
Not
Fox
until they're
is not
18.
getting near your kid. Megan Fox, get away from our children, folks. Thanks for watching Don't Unfriend Me for. We will show what fuck. We will not. We will not be back tomorrow. I don't know. I just had a stroke. All right. We will not be back tomorrow morning. Someone asked if we hit goal this morning on the ship now for the morning, but that's okay. It was a great day. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Thank you. We will be doing morning shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from now on. I think we're going to keep it at 11 o'clock. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7. And we love you and appreciate you. And thanks everybody for what you do. Amy, it's always awesome. Leeroy, it's always awesome.
Yeah.
And Olivia, tonight will be awesome.
Of course.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
night,
Thanks
guys.
for watching. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.